anti-capitalist business magazine in Chicago, and all those people that read about themselves and cranes are so smart and so successful. I mean, they don't care about any of this. I get it. I get it. Message received. But anyway, it's just fun to, as I said, look at the balance sheet a little bit, just peruse it. So Chicago residents have debt about $42,000 per taxpayer, but when you include the fact that Chicago's in Illinois, it jumps to about $85,000. So by that measure, Chicago residents have by far the worst debt burden of any major city on a per capita basis. Judge Glock goes on to say, well, the debt may be bearable if the city had low taxes that would give them room to raise revenue to pay down liabilities. Not that they would do such a thing. But in fact, Chicago's combined city and state taxes would eat up more than 12% of a U.S. median family's income. We don't have a city income tax, but you sort of effectively do. Chicago's taxation is also brutal on businesses. Tax on industrial properties is nearly double the average of other cities. I know industrial properties are doing well. Talk to me in 5 years. The property tax on office buildings at more than 4% a year is by far the worst of any major city, more than twice the average.
That's awful.
High debt and taxes might be manageable if the city's fundamentals were strong. Well, yeah. Downtown Chicago's office vacancy rate is 25%, which is a record high. Of course, we know Boeing has left and other white collar companies. And we know the population is shrinking. We know that the preponderance of the debt is pension debt. We don't care about that, and we don't care about public sector pension funds that are death spiraling. Because it's not a big deal. In the past 3 years, 40 to 44% of all local budgets went to the fixed costs of bond interest charges and pensions. Chicago's in a league of its own with those numbers. The next closest big city competitor was Dallas, with 31% going to fixed costs. 40 to 44% in Chicago. The next closest, 31% Dallas. Also this, just in terms of, always going out to that bond market that these spendthrift politicians love. The city of Chicago has by far the worst bond rating of any major city. And so does the state of Illinois, actually the worst bond rating in the history of bond ratings. Chicago, he writes, it has one of the more confused governance structures in the nation, too. Residents need to worry not only about the liabilities of the city and the state, but the Chicago School District, Chicago Park District, Cook County, obscure bodies like the Forest Reserve District and Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. That's all those units of government add about another 50% of the local debt facing Chicago taxpayers. It adds up. Sure, but I mean, can you put a price on good government, especially that many layers of good government? No, you can't. Chicago retains by far the worst debt rating in many of the largest American cities and has done nothing to reform its bad habits. So basically, in the words of Mike and the mechanics, all we need is a miracle to get out of this debt hole that Brandon Johnson didn't really describe, and nobody's really that particularly interested in, but it's there, and it's growing like a sinkhole, like a pothole. And at some point, there's going to be something big that falls into that hole other than just your, a bigger percentage of your annualized income. It's going to be something like your retirement benefits. But I know, don't believe me. Dan's been, screeching that silliness for 20 years. And look, we're fine. Exactly.
Everything's great.
It's great. It's Candide by the lake.
Hot tubs and bars on the river now.
It's precisely. Don't worry about your pension when you can jump in a bathtub and take a row down the river.
Exactly.
Joe in Hoffman Estates.
Hey, guys. Good morning. First off, I think you're coming down a little too hard on the I team. The I actually stands for ignorance.
Yeah, right.
And second off, Brandon told us what he did and his accomplishments so far, and that's he has a black wife and black kids that play soccer at home.
That's right. He does. He's raising them, including the wife, apparently.
You know what I didn't hear from him yesterday? And I'm a little disappointed. I didn't hear about a better, stronger, safer Chicago.
Better, stronger, safer.
Oh, I gotta get a T-shirt that says that: "Better, stronger, safer."
We're building back a better, safer, stronger Chicago that serves marginalized communities and
Better, stronger, safer.
better, strong. We're building
Sorry, you gotta
back a
get right,
better,
yeah.
stronger, safer Chicago. You combine the national with the local.
Oh,
You got to
okay,
string more of
okay.
these aphorisms together. Like think about like his answer to ShotSpotter. You got to have
It just
more.
wasn't working.
You jam in more catchphrases.
Yeah.
Yeah. Larry in Elmhurst.
Hey, good morning. Hey, that reporter should have asked him whose administration is more corrupt, his or the Hooker and Dalton.
Hooker. Thanks for the call, Larry.
Not a hooker.
Not a pro.
She's a fabulous, but she's
Ron, Southside.
It did, and I talked to so many people, and they say, "Ron, you was right." When I kept saying he would be the last person I'd vote for, and I asked him, I say, he showed you he was a buffoon. I mean, that's the thing I question him. The guy is a buffoon. Period. Hands down. And anybody that voted for him, I feel the same way about them also. Have a good day.
Thanks for the call, Ron. I think it's being a little unfair. I think it's picking on somebody who's got a disability. He suffers from those panic attacks, reportedly.
That's true.
He's overcome a lot this first year.
He's
And he's helped us overcome a lot by leading as an example of what somebody can overcome. You have to overcome a lot to be in a position to, platform all that graft and nonsense, and that's not easy. But don't forget. Speaking of hookers, we got that legalization of prostitution coming up the river from Springfield.
Yeah, who's that state senator who wants to?
No, a lot of them.
Yeah, that's right. Because they had a meeting at the Maggiano's.
Well, I mean, it's professional courtesy. I mean, that most of them in Springfield are prostitutes. So, I mean, how about a little latitude and gratitude? So that when you legalize prostitution and you got the BLM, those BLM brothels, the gimme dat, putty tat, houses of ill repute on the river, Michigan Avenue, take up some of that commercial space that's vacant. I mean, then you're going to be flush with cash again, and you're not going to have to worry about these pesky debt issues that, wet noodles like Judge Glock bring up. Such a buzzkill. Marty in Naperville.
Dan, for all you're saying, people are still going to vote for this guy. You're right. The prostitution is what's going to save this city. And, you could tell this world is getting a lot smaller because I bought my daughter a purse from Iraq, and she said, "Thanks for the bag, Dad."
Oh. I think he's been waiting all week.
Oh,
to
God,
tell
dad
the
humor.
joke. That's the greatest dad joke ever. That's actually funny. That's good.
I'm just thinking about, what a great story that's going to be. I mean, like Pretty Woman. Julia Roberts taught Richard Gere how to love again, and legalized prostitution in Illinois is going to teach the entire state the same. I mean, that's wonderful.
Yeah. We should work on the theme song now.
I mean, just, the smiles, the happiness. Gabby Schomburg.
Hey guys, do you ever stop and think that the powers that be want these people in these leadership roles? I mean, he's the buffoon that they want and need. If you had anybody with any sensibility, it wouldn't work out. They would destroy that person. Case in point, Trump or somebody who's effective. So that was what I wanted to say. He's the perfect buffoon to run the city of Chicago.
I like that.
Everyone does all their busy work.
Yeah, I like that, Gabby. Thanks for the call. It's like the anti-hero. He's not the buffoon we want. He's the buffoon we need.
Oh, God.
Yeah, like he's the negative composite of Batman.
What's our theme for the summer? I remember it was the summer of love. Are we the summer of chaos? Or are we? Oh no, we're the summer. Give me that.
Give me that summer. And I wouldn't mind a pro or two on the side to help it help pass the time. The lazy days of July. Bob and Glen Ellen.
Guys, for the 5 minutes that I watched that, it's sure I could close my eyes and just hear Kamala Harris without the cackle, just saying a whole bunch of nothing. I didn't mention Venn diagrams, but there was nothing going on there.
Yeah, she's busy kicking frickin' doors down right now.
Thanks for the call, Bob. Damn right she is.
Yeah.
Dan and Amy, Chicago's Morning Answer.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Parents, grandparents, you might want to be sitting down because this is amazing news. Imagine the student in your family not asking you for money to pay for college, or better yet, not getting into years and years of debt. How's this possible? Scholarships.com, a trusted and widely used scholarship platform that helps your student find scholarships and navigate the financial aid process. Get help to pay for college through a personalized list of scholarships that your student actually qualifies for. Better yet, every scholarship is vetted to ensure accuracy. And now the best part, drum roll please, it's absolutely free. Go to scholarships.com today. Both students and parents can join for free. And within minutes, receive your list of personalized scholarship matches. Check out the wealth of information and resources available at no cost. And read the fantastic reviews from other scholarship winners. Scholarships.com has helped over 23 million students and families find scholarships to help pay for college. And will help you too. Join scholarships.com today for free. That's scholarships.com.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuit seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-540-7158. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-540-7158. That's 800-540-7158. Again, 800-540-7158.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Guevalis, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're under 100 days to the convention, so where do things stand with Trump's Veep stakes? We'll tackle that at 6:06.
Today it's going to be, it's going to be chilly. 54 degrees right now. Chilly high of 60 degrees today with a chance of showers. It is now 6 a.m. WIND, Chicago.
It's the former president versus his former lawyer. Again, I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Michael Cohen will return to the witness stand for a second day of testimony at the first Trump criminal trial.
Tying former President Trump directly into the alleged illegal scheme to falsify business records and hide his affair with Stormy Daniels. Cohen, of course, the longtime former lawyer, loyal fixer. Well, he turned on President Trump, implicating him in that scheme to pay Stormy and do it, he said, to protect the president's presidential election campaign.
Fox's Eric Shawn outside the court in New York, where Cohen could face intense cross-examination from a Trump defense team that may press Cohen on being a convicted felon, an admitted liar, and the former president insists
they have not come close to proving fraud or that any fraud has taken place.
Just a few blocks away in federal court, jury selection continues to put Senator Bob Menendez, a New Jersey Democrat, on trial.
Menendez is charged with accepting bribes, fraud, conspiring to act as a foreign agent, and conspiracy to commit extortion. He's accused of giving the Egyptian government non-public information about U.S. aid to the country, as well as our embassy in Cairo. He's also accused of complimenting the Qatari government and getting gold bars and a car out of it.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Kyiv as more U.S. military aid arrives to help Ukraine battle Russia's invasion.
A strong, successful, thriving, free Ukraine is the best possible rebuke to Putin.
And this as Russian leader Vladimir Putin's forces take control of more areas in Ukraine's Kharkiv region. Putin will go to China for talks with leader Xi Jinping later this week as the U.S. puts new tariffs on China.
They've played by a different set of rules, and this is what we know to be clear, and it has been unfair and anti-competitive economic practices.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, these tariffs target Chinese electric vehicles, batteries, solar cells, steel, aluminum, and medical equipment. America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. It's 55 degrees in Chicago at AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Look for cloudy skies and showers today, high near 56. A man is accused of sexually assaulting a developmentally disabled woman who became pregnant at a nursing home in West Suburban Geneva. The incident happened at the Markland Hyde Center, where administrators learned the victim was pregnant last month before she eventually gave birth. Authorities say Isaiah Fields was arrested last Friday after the Kane County Sheriff's Office collected DNA samples from current and previous male employees of Markland. Prosecutors claim Fields assaulted the woman between August 1st and September 5th of last year. Negotiations are stalled between pro-Palestinian protesters and DePaul University. DePaul student body president Parveen Mundi says the demonstrators will remain on campus until the university meets their demands, which includes the university cutting ties with Israel. The university's president released a statement saying discussions with the divestment coalition are at an impasse. The president added they have worked to respond to each of the demands of the students, but they're concerned they are not on a path to understanding. Dolton officials are appointing a mayor pro tem to conduct official business when the mayor is absent. Embattled Dolton Mayor Tiffany Haynard wasn't in attendance last night as trustees voted to appoint Jason House to the position. The vote comes as Haynard is under investigation for a series of allegations of impropriety and corruption. Trustees claimed she has missed a number of special meetings and refuses to allow some businesses to be put on the agenda during regular meetings. Several Chicago aldermen are calling on Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor Pritzker to replace the head of the Chicago Transit Authority. 19 council members have signed a resolution that calls for CTA President Dorval Carter to resign. The complaints include failing to add enough rail and bus operators and not keeping up with post-pandemic service recoveries seen in other big cities like Washington, D.C. and New York City. News is a service of Remke's Garage. Take it to the experts. Take it to Remke's Garage. The shop at Remke's Garage is equipped with state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment and highly trained technicians. Remke's Garage is your Sprinter, diesel, and Toyo tire headquarters. Visit remkesgarage.com. That's REMKES garage.com and schedule your inspection today. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
Charlie Kirk says it's a narrow margin.
Roughly 244 million Americans will be eligible to vote, but 99.5% will not be deciders. They won't vote or will always vote the same way. Both campaigns are now obsessed with 6 states: Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
For anyone living with everyday aches and pains, there's a lot of things you can try. You know, tough it out, bite the bullet, grin and bear it. Or you can try something that has helped so many other people, Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that addresses the inflammation where pain starts. And Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain for a short time. It helps reduce or even eliminate it all day, every day. Wherever you're hurting, your back, neck, joints, or muscles, in about 3 weeks or less, you'll see a difference and rediscover what it's like to feel better and live better. So if everyday pain is affecting your life, don't go with the mind over matter approach. Try Relief Factor instead. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
The fiber and spice is a very effective product. There's no question. A product that is very reliable. It's a very good product.
I swear by these. Probably the best products that I've ever used. I think they're just simply good for your body.
When I used to work, I used to do my art over the weekend all the time. And now I do yard work. I have been doing yard work. I can sweep my floor and make my place look nice. And I take Balance of Nature, and it feels really good.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the Edens inbound, 24 minutes from Lake Hook to Montrose. Kennedy in at 36. O'Hare into downtown. Back outbound, it's 30 to the airport. On the Stevenson inbound building, it's slow from Ashland to the Dan Ryan. From 355 to DeSapa Lakeshore Drive, it's running 46 minutes. That Eisenhower in at 50 from 390 to Congress and the Dan Ryan, 23 minutes from 95th into downtown. Traffic is a service of ReviveYourLawn.com. Don't DIY, RYL, Revive Your Lawn, with the landscape and design experts. Outdoor patios and kitchens, hardscapes, softscapes, lighting and more. Get an instant online estimate today at ReviveYourLawn.com. Reporting today from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Areas of fog around this morning, otherwise clouds breezy, not as warm. Some occasional rain, high 58. Clouds this evening, then clearing late, low 51. Sunny, warm day tomorrow, the high 67. Showers on Thursday, the high 74. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Our new theme music for BLM Brandon, man. Again, he challenges you. Find somebody better.
No other city in America has been able to handle this crisis as well as we have. If there's someone out there that's doing it better,
you show them to me.
Yeah, I want them front and center right now.
What about on K through 12 education? Is anybody doing it better than CPS? I mean, he wants $1 billion more for CPS from Springfield. BLM Brandon does.
Oh, and today's CTU members are going to Springfield with the big ask. They want some more money.
Wirepoint's had an interesting piece on CPS teachers. We'll talk to Ted Dabrowski about it more at the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour, but 43% of CPS teachers were chronically absent in 2023.
45%?
43%. The chronic absence, 10 or more absences in a school year. Oh, I mean, if the kids aren't there, why should the teachers show up, I suppose?
Hey-o.
43% of CPS teachers are chronically absent, and they're asking for their average salary to go from $90,000 and change to $144,000 and change over the next 5-year deal. That's on the table. Jeez. Right. Adjusted for cost of living, the highest paid teachers in the country, Chicago public school teachers.
Plus 12 weeks paternity leave, which is for men and women.
Yeah, I mean, the benefits just go on and on and on in perpetuity. But 43% for
that's a lot.
Boy, it's hard to make the claim about the mentoring that goes on and the selflessness and the sacrifice and the stewardship of young people when you're not even in the building. 43% is a pretty big number.
It's almost
pretty
half.
big percentage. So, anybody doing it better? Oh, interesting. A story that comes to us from 60 Minutes. Surprisingly. Not exactly surprisingly. They tell it in a very stilted way. But the underlying reality is something that 60 Minutes can't avoid, even as hard as they tried, to just focus on the fact that this is a story about young black girls in an all-girls school in New Orleans that is doing a great job and whose graduates are going on to do great things. It's a Catholic school.
Christianity.
The hell you
bad.
say? The hell you say? It's a Catholic school called St. Mary's Academy.
In a city where uniqueness is celebrated, St. Mary's stands out, with young African-American women playing trombones and tubas, twirling batons and dancing, doing it all, which defines St. Mary's, students told us. Junior Christina Blasio says the school instills in them they have the ability to accomplish anything.
That is kind of a standard here, so we aim very high. Like our aim is excellence for all students.
Our aim is excellence for all students. Huh. The school, St. Mary's Academy, was founded by a Catholic sister, nun, the great-great-granddaughter of a West African slave, whose cause for canonization is now before the Vatican. Henriette de Lilly. Mother Henriette de Lilly. All black, all girls institution, St. Mary's Academy in New Orleans. The girls there that you just heard from demand excellence. Is that a phrase you hear a lot in the Chicago public school system? About the Chicago public school system? Even from administrators, teachers, politicians? Does anyone believe that the Chicago public school system as a whole, even most of its individual schools, if not all of them, ever use phrases like demanding excellence, ever set standards? You know what the story is at St. Mary's Academy in New Orleans? Oh, it's something that would be aghast if it was attempted to be implemented, probably in most of the Catholic schools in Chicagoland, much less the government schools. St. Mary's Academy in New Orleans, no cell phones, uniforms, modest skirts, hair must be natural color.
I don't know about that.
17 years straight, 100% of these young black girls have graduated from high school and have been accepted to college, 100%.
Good for them.
You may remember St. Mary's because of two students that rose to some national, really international prominence a couple years ago, Nakia Jackson and Kelsey Johnson, because they were able to answer a bonus question that was put to them on a test that was put to them, or project that was put to them by their math teacher. And they came up with a new proof for the Pythagorean theorem using trigonometry. Wow. Yeah.
In December 2022, seniors Nakia Jackson and Kelsey Johnson were working on a school-wide math contest that came with a cash prize.
I was motivated because there was a monetary incentive, because I was like, $500 is a lot of money, so I would like to at least try.
And yeah, you can watch the whole piece, and I encourage you to do it, and I go through it. And a couple thousand years, I think there's one other published theorem, proof of the Pythagorean theorem using trig, but this was pretty groundbreaking. And they don't the two girls
for high schoolers.
The two girls don't consider themselves math geniuses or anything, but they're pretty sharp.
They go to Georgia Tech now.
No. One actually is at Xavier, and the other is at LSU.
Okay.
And neither one of them is majoring in math, but that's okay.
Oh, wow.
They were asked by the Jiminy Glick at the 60 Minutes, why do you think you got so much attention?
Why do you think so many people found what you did to be so impressive?
Probably because we're African American, one, and we're also women. So I think, and our age. Of course, our age has probably played a big part.
So you think people were surprised that young African American women could do such a thing?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to actually be celebrated for what it is. Like, it's a great mathematical achievement.
Oh my, I love these girls.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Oh, there's that word again. Achievement. You know the people who use words like achievement and excellence? People who believe in meritocracy. That's a four-letter word to the new Marxists in charge of the Democrat Socialist Party and every big city in America. But not at St. Mary's Academy.
Achievement. That's a word you hear often around St. Mary's Academy. Kelsey and Nikaya follow a long line of barrier-breaking graduates.
So good over
The late queen of Creole cooking, Leah Chase, was an alum. So was the first African-American female New Orleans police chief, Michelle Woodfork.
I sit before you.
And judge for the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, Dana Douglas. Math teacher Michelle Bluen-Williams told us Kelsey and Nikaya are typical St. Mary's students. They're not unicorns.
Oh, no, no. If they are unicorns, then every single lady that has matriculated through this school is a beautiful black unicorn.
So can somebody point to a school in Chicago where you can say the same thing? I'm not talking about Willows Academy. I'm talking about in CPS. Frankly, in Catholic schools in Chicagoland, well, I guess that would include Willows and Northridge Prep, technically. 60 Minutes talked to a retired academic who studied learning environments, retired from, I think, University of Wisconsin. Listen to what she had to say. And it's funny because they're saying things and they don't even understand sort of at least they don't, I don't want to say they don't understand, they don't connect the political implications to them because, many of these people that came out, even some of the accomplished grads they talked about, they're Democrats. They don't get it. They're still they're still beholden to this racial politics. So they still bought into this notion that probably that Republicans, conservatives are racists, or that we don't see promote equal opportunity or some such thing, even as they come up in an environment that is zero focus on achievement and expectation. You will comport yourself this way. You will be expected to do this. There will be consequences if you don't. And then they enter a political system that sends all the opposite messages. I don't know why. But that's sort of a secondary issue. The primary issue is we need more St. Mary's Academies.
Yep. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. You can also reach us on our text line, 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
So on that soft bigotry of low expectations.
What we know is when teachers lay out some expectations that say, you can do this, kids will work as hard as they can to do it.
Gloria Ladson Billings, professor emeritus at the University of Wisconsin, has studied how best to teach African American students. She told us an encouraging teacher can change a life. And what's the difference, say, between having a teacher like that and a whole school dedicated to the excellence of these students?
So a whole school is almost like being in heaven.
What do you mean by that?
Many of our young people have their ceilings lowered. That somewhere around 4th or 5th grade, their thoughts are, I'm not going to be anything special. What I think is probably happening at St. Mary's is young women come in as perhaps ninth graders and are told, here's what we expect to happen, and here's how we're going to help you get there.
Mm-hmm. Is that happening in CPS? Is it?
Well, I mean, I know they set goals with their counselor when they come in their freshman year, and
yeah,
but not like no. I mean, you can't compare.
What group of girls would say this about their school in Chicago?
Especially the standards that they set for us. They're very high, and I don't think that's ever going to change.
So is there a heart, a philosophy, an essence to St. Mary's?
The sisterhood.
Sisterhood.
The sisterhood.
Yes.
And you don't mean the nuns, you mean
I mean, yeah.
you. So when you're here, there's just no question that you're going to go on to college.
College is all they talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Got a text message, Dan and Amy. I saw the segment, and these exceptional students. I hope they don't waste their intelligence going to college, taking inconsequential studies, such as i.e. black studies.
Yeah, right. Well, the two the math stars there that were profiled, I think one is in the pharmacology school at Xavier, and the other is environmental engineering at LSU. So, no, they're on their way. Something else not covered by 60 Minutes. It is a Catholic school. It's in the state of Louisiana. Tuition's $8,000 a year.
That's not bad.
50% of the girls are on scholarship. Where does that money come from? Oh, they have school choice in Louisiana. They have school choice.
I remember when we had that here.
They have school choice so that girls, because they don't take any of that bull jive. You can't learn because you came from a tough home situation. They don't tolerate that silliness. There's no excuses there. You're here now. Here's our program. Here are your expectations. Here's how we're going to help you, and here's how you get punished if you color outside the lines. 17 years in a row, 100%, 100%. That's not replicable. BLM Brandon, Stacey Davis Gates, anybody? Hello? The voucher program in Louisiana, average voucher value, $6,800. That's the average. That goes a lot way to paying an $8,000 tuition bill, so that your daughter can go to this school. It's been around since 2008, state of Louisiana. Not mentioned by 60 Minutes because you don't want to upset the government school, the educrats, and the unions, right? So is that something that could be done better? I mean, I know things are great in Candide by the Lake. And almost nobody lifted a finger after all the work that was done and the unholy deals that were cut to get school choice in Illinois to salvage it when Stacey Davis Gates and BLM Brandon and Jelly Belly came for it. So you don't have the St. Mary's, or to the extent you have one-offs like Willows or Northridge Prep, they're just one-offs. And this is a Catholic school. And where were the bishops? Where was the cardinal when they came for the Catholic schools, effectively, in Chicagoland, in Illinois? No, but you can't do it any better. Everyone can justify everything they're doing and not doing in public office in this city, this county, this state. It's amazing. Says nobody around the country is doing it any better. Sure. As long as you don't lift your head up and look around, you can rationalize that with them. But if you do, you're going to be confronted with examples like St. Mary's, the kind of schools that your kids don't have, because you help propagate the mass delusion of Candide by the Lake, best we can, supporting our local schools. So racism perpetrated by the white man. That's the school choice program, as Stacey Davis Gates likes to say. Tell that to the sisterhood at St. Mary's in New Orleans. Dan and Amy, Chicago's Morning Answer.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, business owners, are you wondering how to grow your business? Do you need cash flow and a ready source for financing? Well, Signature Bank can help. Hi, Mike Gallagher here to let you know that Signature Bank's loan decisions are made locally by a team who knows your name, cares about your business, and is invested in your success. When you need advice about your business or even have a question, Signature Bank is there to help. There are no handoffs or call centers. This is a team that wants to get to know you and your business. That's why Signature Bank in Chicago is my bank. That's right. I'm a customer. When I call, someone picks up the phone on the other end. And with Signature Bank, I can securely bank anywhere, anytime. Reach out to my friends at Signature Bank. Call 773-467-5630. That's 773-467-5630. Or visit them online at signaturebank.bank. Signaturebank.bank. Your business could be Signature Bank's next success story. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This spring, as you bust out that grill and get your patio ready for summer barbecues, remember, hot dogs, brats, burgers, and beer don't provide the fruits and veggies your body desperately needs every day to stay healthy and energized. That's why I've been taking Balance of Nature for nearly a decade. It's so easy to open up the individual capsules and dust them over my salad or mix them into warm water or juice drinks. That's how I do it. And thousands of AM 560 listeners love their Balance of Nature, and you will too. 6 capsules a day provides your body, your heart, and mind over 10 servings of 31 different fruits and vegetables. You will love it, and your body, mind, and heart will thank you for it. Order today by calling 800-246-8751. Use coupon code Chicago to save 35% off your first order and free shipping as a preferred customer. 800-246-8751. Call now or order online at balanceofnature.com and use coupon code Chicago.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
One of the most important decisions you can make as a parent is where you send your kids to school. But these days, it's never been harder to know which school is best. Public schools have changed a lot, and you might be thinking about sending your child to a private Christian school. But you also know that private school can be expensive, and in this economy, you might think it's not an option. Well, think again. With halfpriceschools.com, you can purchase tuition vouchers for half the price of normal tuition for private schools. For nearly 10 years, halfpriceschools.com has helped families from all over Chicagoland make the dream of private school a reality. And that can be the reality for you and your child too. Just go to halfpriceschools.com, search for a private Christian school near you, and purchase a voucher. It's that easy. Visit halfpriceschools.com. That's halfpriceschools.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 6:36, I'm not the only one challenging the bishops and the hierarchy of the Catholic Church. Kansas City Chiefs All-Pro and future Hall of Fame kicker Harrison Butker did the same in the commencement address he gave at Benedictine College in Kansas. You're going to want to hear what Harrison Butker had to say. 636.
Georgia Tech grad. But now let's head into the newsroom. Crystal Blue is in for Mike Scott.
Good morning. It's 55 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Look for cloudy skies and showers today, high near 56. Authorities are investigating a deadly overnight two-vehicle crash in north suburban Glenview. The collision happened Sunday in the 1200 block of East Lake Avenue. Police say Marco Niketic, who was driving one of the vehicles, was pronounced dead at the scene. 3 other people were taken to nearby hospitals. Glenview police and a major crash task force are investigating the incident. Detectives are investigating after a woman was gunned down in a kitchen on the city's south side. The crime happened Sunday night in the 6100 block of South King Drive. The victim was found with a gunshot wound to the chest and was taken to the hospital where she later died. No one is in custody. A court fight over a deposition from former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is over. A Cook County judge ruled on Friday that the city could no longer keep private the ex-mayor's statements about a police pursuit and crash that led to the 2020 death of 10-year-old Dakaria Spicer. The girl's family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the city, claiming the vehicle that struck their car was being chased by an unmarked vehicle during an unauthorized pursuit. Lightfoot could be called to the witness stand to testify in the trial set for November. News is a service of Del Bacchio Group of Properties, Christie's International Real Estate, experts in the northwest suburbs and Chicago. With over $800 million in sales, you'll get the most value for your home. Call 708-828-0000. Again, 708-828-0000. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Your home is a valuable asset, and you want to take care of your home. From roofs, siding, windows, and doors to furnaces, flooring, landscaping, and much more. Listen to your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio every Sunday morning at 9. Presented by Lang Home Medical Equipment, Executive Green Carpet Cleaning, and by Valdecast Windows and Doors. Get answers from industry experts so you can make informed decisions about your home improvement. Right here on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Jerry Boyer for townhall.com. Does the left believe in personal autonomy? When the topic is abortion, they claim to. But when the topic is vaccine mandates, they clearly do not. Do they believe in free expression? When the topic is anti-Semitic agitation on campus, they claim to. But when conservatives are intimidated off the same campuses, they clearly do not. Are they for public order? They claim to be when they hold endless hearings about the riots on January 6, but when Antifa burns down cities, they clearly are not. It becomes a lot less confusing when you realize that leftism is not a coherent philosophy and does not try to be philosophically consistent. Leftism is a revolt against the creation order. The left uses each of those tools selectively only when they can be repurposed into weapons to blast away not just at our social order, but at the very created order of reality. Let us hope the nation is learning. I'm Jerry Boyer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
It is absolutely the best product we've ever used, no question.
I would take it daily. You just woke up in the morning and felt great.
Well, I'm in my 90s. I was so impressed with it that I bought all my children that. I have 4 children, and they all got a shipment of it. It's a great product. Yes, I love it.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
In Elgin, an accident at Shales Parkway and Walden Drive, a crash in Elmhurst at Roosevelt at York, the Kennedy inbound 32 minutes O'Hare into downtown, outbound Kennedy 30 to the airport. On the Eisenhower in an accident on the Roosevelt Road extension on-ramp from 390 to Congress 43 minutes. Stevenson in at 50 from 355 to DeSoto Lakeshore Drive, and the Dan Ryan in at 26 minutes from 95th. This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey DQ fans, cool off with their new summer blizzard treat menu. Try new picnic peach cobbler or snack a perfect beach treat like their summer blizzard treat menu is one you won't want to miss. Only at participating DQ locations. Happy tastes good. Reporting from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Areas of fog around this morning, otherwise clouds breezy, not as warm. Some occasional rain, high 58. Clouds this evening, then clearing late, low 51. Sunny, warm day tomorrow, the high 67. Showers on Thursday, the high 74. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Well, there's some clawing back on going on college campuses. It started with that frat boy uprising at University of North Carolina.
Making frats great again. That's what I kept saying, because both of my boys are in frats, and they get a bad name.
Yeah, Heather
Bad
McDonald was saying yesterday to us that we need a frat boy uprising, which was the name of my college band at Northwestern up in Evanston.
Corey
too.
Hart cover band?
Yeah, we wore our sunglasses at night and never surrendered.
Good look.
We were cool. Anyway,
yeah.
That frat boy uprising has imbued the Board of Trustees with some courage at North Carolina. Marty Corris, who's the vice president of the board there, having this to say, as the board voted unanimously to take $2.3 million that was otherwise dedicated for DIE, diversity, inclusion, equity, and instead put that money towards public safety on campus, officers.
And I'll just make one last comment. You know, we talk about peaceful protest, but when you destroy property or you take down the U.S. flag, and you have to put up gates around it that cost money, or deploy officers to do that, North Carolinians are watching all of this, and they are not happy. And I think it's imperative that we have the proper resources for our law enforcement to protect the campus. And that means our property, and that means our flag as well.
Would you like to be the president of Northwestern University? I wish I could install you, Marty, but
Wow.
that's probably not in the offing.
I'm very impressed, and then they're going to use those funds to help support police, correct? That's what I heard, part of them.
To hire police,
Police,
protect our property, and that includes our flag, and he's not talking about the Palestinian flag. Harrison Butker, the Kansas City Chiefs kicker.
And before that, where did he go to college, Dan?
You've already said.
I'm going to say it every
You'll
time.
say again. Yeah.
And again and again. Georgia Tech, thank you.
Yes, well.
We'll have Ted Dabrowski on later, too. He went to Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech, yeah. So look, all these illustrious Georgia Tech grads, and Peyton will soon be another one.
Yes, got straight A's this year. Thank you.
Very good. Well, Harrison Butker was invited to give the commencement address at Benedictine College, which is one of the few colleges where you can safely send your children if you want them to be focused on, developing intellectually and emotionally, maturation into a good citizen and servant leader.
And he's a good father.
Harrison Butker at Benedictine in Kansas. Let's start with what he had to say about his wife.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start before we get into some of his comments on the church. Let's start with his comments on his own family.
I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
That's generating applause at that university. That tells you everything you need to know. It would have been Seinfelded anywhere else.
She's the primary educator to our children. She's the one who ensures I never let football or my business become a distraction from that of a husband and father. She is the person that knows me best at my core, and it is through our marriage that, Lord willing, we will both attain salvation.
Remember when we played that? I was like, ladies, gather round. You have to meet this man.
Yeah. Sorry, ladies.
Because
He's
that's
taken.
hot. I know.
Yeah.
I know he's taken, but
Yeah.
that's, if you're
Yeah.
trying to emulate or find somebody.
You're going to have to settle for
like
the
him.
lessers out there. Yeah, too bad. You missed
there's
him.
got to be some.
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's pretty much. Everybody else is a step down from Harrison Butker, that's for sure. By the way, that was like the most beautiful, origin story, if you will, of the couple, at least since Bill and Hillary locked eyes at the law library at Yale.
Yeah, and they went on their honeymoon to Haiti.
Wasn't that a match? Well, sure, because they had to set up their phony foundation to bilk that country. Yeah, absolutely.
Give everyone phones.
Beautiful romance.
Oh, it's
All
so
right.
romantic.
Sorry to sully Harrison
what are you
Butker's
doing?
authentic story with the Clintons invented one, but I thought it'd be funny. I'm not a smart ass, and Harrison Butker makes me feel uncomfortable because it gives me an inferiority complex. He's too good. Anyway, Harrison Butker had something else to say about Catholic politicians. Catholic, scare quotes, politicians like the big guy, and Catholic clergy, scare quotes, who act like politicians.
Our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally. He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure to many people it appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice. He is not alone. From the man behind the COVID lockdowns to the people pushing dangerous gender ideologies onto the youth of America, they all have a glaring thing in common. They are Catholic. This is an important reminder that being Catholic alone doesn't cut it. These are the sorts of things we are told in polite society to not bring up. The difficult and unpleasant things. But if we are going to be men and women for this time in history, we need to stop pretending that the Church of Nice is a winning proposition. We must always speak and act in charity, but never mistake charity for cowardice. It is safe to say that over the past few years, I've gained quite the reputation for speaking my mind. I never envisioned myself nor wanted to have this sort of a platform, but God has given it to me, so I have no other choice but to embrace it and preach more hard truths about accepting your lane and staying in it. As members of the church founded by Jesus Christ, it is our duty and ultimately privilege to be authentically and unapologetically Catholic. Don't be mistaken, even within the church, people in polite Catholic circles will try to persuade you to remain silent. There even was an award-winning film called Silence, made by a fellow Catholic, wherein one of the main characters, a Jesuit priest, abandoned the church and as an apostate, when he died, is seen grasping a crucifix, quiet and unknown to anyone but God. As a friend of Benedictine College, His Excellency Bishop Robert Barron said in his review of the film, it was exactly what the cultural elite want to see in Christianity: private, hidden away, and harmless. Our Catholic faith has always been countercultural. Our Lord, along with countless followers, were all put to death for their adherence to her teachings. The world around us says that we should keep our beliefs to ourselves whenever they go against the tyranny of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We fear speaking truth because now, unfortunately, truth is in the minority. Congress just passed a bill where stating something as basic as the biblical teaching of who killed Jesus could land you in jail. But make no mistake, before we even attempt to fix any of the issues plaguing society, we must first get our own house in order, and it starts with our leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. It just blows my mind that more Catholics don't speak out like this.
Well, that's moral clarity. He's serious about it. The Church of Nice. Yeah, the Church of Nice. And he's right, and the Robert Barron the Bishop Barron reference is appropriate. That's exactly what they want. Catholic schools are fine as long as the Catholic is just ornamentation. I mean, don't go pushing the catechism. He has something else to say, too, about that leadership where he left off there, and that needs to be heard. And it will be just in a second. Jerry and Homer Glen, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good.
I went to a Catholic school by the name of St. Lawrence in Burbank. I was in the first graduating... Pardon me?
Yeah, sure.
I was in the first graduating class there. And if you look up the statistics on them, they're really very, very good. As I thought I received a great education from it. Right now, there's about 1,000 students in it with a teacher to school, or student to teacher ratio of 14-1. And 99% of the kids graduate, and 97% of them go on to attend a 4-year college.
Yeah, and famous St. Lawrence grads. I mean, you want to make a football plug? You know, it's not Mount Carmel, so you guys have a bit of an inferiority complex. But there's some good football players that came out of St. Lawrence.
Absolutely, there have been. Yes, I don't know the specifics on those, but they have been really great.
I know one, Stan Smagala, who played at Notre Dame.
Wow. Okay, great.
There you go. But you're right. Thanks for the call, Jerry. Stan. I mean, look, there are some. We've talked about them before. Independent Catholic schools like Northridge Prep, Willows, diocesan schools, St. Lawrence, Mount Carmel. There's some that are still holding fast, but a few, not a ton. And where Harrison Butker left off is where we have to go back to if we want to have that conversation. Our leaders. Very much when it comes to our leaders in the church, and it's not limited to the Catholic Church. This is an example. It's relevant because this is the topic of the commencement address at a Catholic school, but it has application across faiths. It's an ecumenical statement, really. In your church, in your faith tradition, you get the leaders you deserve, like in your politics.
As we saw during the pandemic, too many bishops were not leaders at all. They were motivated by fear of being sued, fear of being removed, fear of being disliked. They showed by their actions, intentional or unintentional, that the sacraments don't actually matter. Because of this, countless people died alone without access to the sacraments, and it's a tragedy we must never forget. As Catholics, we can look to so many examples of heroic shepherds who gave their lives for their people, and ultimately, the church. We cannot buy into the lie that the things we experienced during COVID were appropriate. Over the centuries, there have been great wars, great famines, and yes, even great diseases, all that came with a level of lethality and danger. But in each of those examples, church leaders leaned into their vocations and ensured that their people received the sacraments. Great saints like St. Damien of Malachi, who knew the dangers of his ministry, stayed for 11 years as a spiritual leader to the leper colonies of Hawaii. His heroism is looked at today as something set apart and unique, when ideally it should not be unique at all. For as a father loves his child, so a shepherd should love his spiritual children too. That goes even more so for our bishops, these men who are present-day apostles. Our bishops once had adoring crowds of people kissing their rings and taking in their every word, but now relegate themselves to a position of inconsequential existence. Now, when a bishop of a diocese or the bishops' conference as a whole puts out an important document on this matter or that, nobody even takes a moment to read it, let alone follow it. No. Today, our shepherds are far more concerned with keeping the doors open to the chancery than they are with saying the difficult stuff out loud. It seems that the only time you hear from your bishops is when it's time for the annual appeal, Whereas we need our bishops to be vocal about the teachings of the church, setting aside their own personal comfort and embracing their cross. Our bishops are not politicians, but shepherds. So instead of fitting in the world by going along to get along, they too need to stay in their lane and lead. I say all of this not from a place of anger, as we get the leaders we deserve. But this does make me reflect on staying in my lane and focusing on my own vocation and how I can be a better father and husband and live in the world, but not be of it.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636DA, turnkey.pro, text line. Ken in Grays Lake.
Good morning to you both. Yeah, if the revelation that the FBI was targeting conservative Catholics doesn't motivate Catholics to start getting the church to fight instead of just be passive, I don't know what will, but there is cause for hope. There are a lot of younger priests, especially. One I would encourage people to check his homilies on YouTube is Father Billy Costco, Koscaco, at St. Henry in Buckeye, Arizona. He gave a homily about abortion and politics in the Catholic Church and the lack of guts from our bishops that went viral that I would encourage anybody, not just Catholics, to check out on YouTube. And the hope for our church is coming from places like the Western Pacific and Central and Eastern Europe, where America is getting a lot of her priests from, and they remember what being under communism looks like, and they're starting to slowly swing the pendulum.
Thanks for the call, Ken. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, you see it in outposts like St. John Cantius in Bucktown in Chicago, and younger priests too. You see it in a few suburban parishes. Of course, they're at odds with Cardinal Supich, but well, that's okay. There's a schism within the church. There's no question about that, and that has to be fought out. I don't know how else to say it. But yeah, it is interesting. I think the younger priests in particular are going to provide that new energy, that new backbone, that renewal against some of these old political sawhorses like Supich and, the socialists that turned the liberation theologists, the social justice Catholics who turned a blind eye to the predation that occurred in the church and did so much damage to the church through that willful blindness and the covering up and so forth. Yeah, I don't know if a great awakening is coming, and if there is, it will be uneven, and it may not land in Chicago first, to be sure. Sort of like what we're talking about with respect to we were talking about last week with respect to the prospect of something unexpected happening politically in a major city because of the disintegration that's going on, and per Stein's law, if something can't go on forever, it won't. So it's difficult to say, but there are areas of encouragement, including what Ken just referred to there. Dan and Amy, Chicago's Morning Answer.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
This is my father, Bob.
This is my daughter, Lisa.
And we love Balance of Nature.
Don't you?
You think I'm going to say no to her? Balance of Nature is a very good product. It's simple application, a simple thing to take.
It's fruits and veggie in a capsule.
That's it. Balance of Nature has helped me get along very well.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Parents, grandparents, you might want to be sitting down because this is amazing news. Imagine the student in your family not asking you for money to pay for college, or better yet, not getting into years and years of debt. How's this possible? Scholarships.com, a trusted and widely used scholarship platform that helps your student find scholarships and navigate the financial aid process. Get help to pay for college through a personalized list of scholarships that your student actually qualifies for. Better yet, every scholarship is vetted to ensure accuracy. And now the best part, drum roll please, it's absolutely free. Go to scholarships.com today. Both students and parents can join for free. And within minutes, receive your list of personalized scholarship matches. Check out the wealth of information and resources available at no cost. And read the fantastic reviews from other scholarship winners. Scholarships.com has helped over 23 million students and families find scholarships to help pay for college. And will help you too. Join scholarships.com today for free. That's scholarships.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
That sound means it's time for In-Depth History with Frank, the history teacher from Arlington Heights, because there's nothing new in this world. It's just the history we don't know. Frank, take it away.
Good morning. FDR is often lauded as a wise sage who prepared his reluctant country for eventual entry into World War II. The good neighbor policy with Latin America helped preserve the region as allies. The peacetime draft in 1940 helped build up the armed forces, and the Lend-Lease program kept the UK and Russia in the war. Another more local preparation, though, was done in southeast Indiana, just north of the town of Madison. Today, there is a 15 by 4 mile site there called the Big Oaks Wildlife Refuge, which is used for recreational activities. But back in the summer of 1940, many farmers there were enjoying their lives growing corn amidst small towns in a pleasant climate. Then in early December of that year, the federal government decided that it wanted this land for an artillery range, which ironically became known as the Jefferson Proving Grounds. It did not go off very well. The notices informed the residents that they had all of 30 days to vacate their homes, churches, schools, and farms. Oh, and by the way, Merry Christmas. So like a biblical swarm of locusts, government and army officials swooped in to enforce their plenary right of eminent domain. This taking absolutely broke the hearts of many longtime families who had roots going back to the time of Lincoln. But the state, you see, is the perfect intangible machine. It doesn't have any feelings. I really can't imagine the horror. Or actually, I do have the perfect metaphor. The scene in the 1979 movie, The Amityville Horror, when Father Delaney comes to bless the house. He gets trapped in a room upstairs with the door slamming shut. Flies are all around him. Then the door slowly opens, and he is told by a demonic voice, "Get out." He hesitates. So then it becomes, "Get out!" That must have been what they felt like.
Boy, I wasn't expecting an Amityville Horror reference this early in the morning, but nicely done. And so whatever happened to the Jefferson Proving Ground?
Well, right now it's just that Big Oaks Wildlife Refuge. It's just, there were 500 families there that just got kicked out. There's a good video of it on YouTube, like 21, 22 minutes about the history of it. It was made, I think, probably in the 80s or 90s, but it's about some of the people who got thrown out. And, there were all kinds of economic impacts on it, and people had to move. Just get the heck out of here. And,
right, FDR, one of our great presidents, except for this and except for the internment of the Japanese and except for all sorts of other things. Frank, as always, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coming up at 7:07, we'll turn our attention to the horse race at the presidential level and the trial in Manhattan with Scott McKay from the Hayride. That's 7:07.
And today, a chance of showers, cloudy, cooler, a high near 59 degrees, and a chance of showers tonight, mostly cloudy, a low around 50. But tomorrow, we're going to have plenty of sunshine, pleasant day, a high of 67. It's now 7 a.m., WIND, Chicago.
Michael Cohen has more to say.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The former Trump lawyer will be on the witness stand a second day at the criminal trial. The former president calls a hoax.
There's no fraud here. There's no crime here.
And House Speaker Mike Johnson will be there today in court showing his support the day after Cohen testified.
Just do it. That's what Michael Cohen says Donald Trump told him to pay off Stormy Daniels to protect his 2016 presidential election.
Fox's Eric Shawn outside the court in New York.
On the stand, Cohen said Trump told him, quote, "This is a disaster, a total disaster. Women are going to hate me. This is going to be a disaster for the campaign." He said Trump told him to work out the deal with Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg. He's now serving time in jail for committing perjury. It was Weisselberg who sketched out the numbers for Cohen's reimbursement.
The former president charged with falsifying records in those reimbursements. In a federal court nearby, jury selection continues for Senator Bob Menendez's trial, the New Jersey Democrat accused of bribery. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's in Ukraine as more new American weapons and ammo flow in.
It's a tough time for Ukraine. That's according to President Volodymyr Zelensky as he welcomes the Secretary of State. Russia is making gains in the east, pushing towards Ukraine's second city, Kharkiv. Antony Blinken promises the U.S. military aid package that's now reaching the front line will make a difference.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. They're voting in 2 states where Republicans in November hope to flip 2 Democratic Senate seats red. In West Virginia, where Senator Joe Manchin's not running again, Governor Jim Justice faces Congressman Alex Mooney in a GOP primary. In Maryland, where Democrat Ben Cardin's retiring, Republican Larry Hogan will likely face the winner of the Senate Democratic primary.
Congressman David Trone, the co-owner of Total Wine & More, has already spent $50 million of his own money on his Senate bid. He's facing a tough fight against Prince George's County Executive Angela Olso Brooks.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera. America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. It's 55 degrees in Chicago on AM 560, The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Look for cloudy skies and showers today, high near 56. 3 people are charged with robbing a 16-year-old boy on the CTA platform in Chicago's Austin neighborhood. All 3 were arrested Sunday in the 1600 and 1700 blocks of South State Street. Police say the trio battered and robbed the boy on the CTA platform at the 4800 block of West Lake Street just minutes before they were taken into custody. They all face 1 count of robbery and 1 count of aggravated battery. A man wanted in a decades-old Moultrie County child rape case is in custody. Herman Carroll has been on the run since he posted bail in 2000 and failed to appear for a court hearing. The 72-year-old was wanted on multiple charges, accusing him of sexually assaulting a 12-year-old girl. The U.S. Marshals Service determined he'd been living in Branson, Missouri. Carroll was arrested in Branson last Friday and transported to the Taney County Jail to await extradition. East Main Street will be closed today in Urbana for the Champaign County Police Memorial Service. Traffic will be temporarily blocked this morning from South Broadway Avenue to South Vine Street. The memorial will be held at the Champaign County Courthouse. The service is to honor law enforcement officers who lost their lives in the line of duty. Chicago officials are closing a migrant shelter on the south side as a number of asylum seekers living in the city shelters is declining. City leaders confirmed Monday that the shelter at the former Wadsworth Elementary School on South University Avenue has been shut down, and all the migrants living there have been transferred to other city shelters. Sources tell CBS 2 Chicago that the facility would be used as a backup shelter this summer in case there is a surge in asylum seekers sent to Chicago. Former state representative Mark Walker will become the new state senator for the 27th district in the northwest suburbs. He was selected by Democratic officials on Saturday to replace outgoing Ann Gillespie. She was recently appointed by Governor Pritzker to lead the state agency that oversees insurance companies. Walker will fill the Senate seat until a special election in November. News is a service of Woodland Windows and Doors. For 55 years, Woodland has been transforming living spaces with beautiful windows and doors. Take advantage of our 10% off installation on purchases through June 30th. Book your appointment now. Visit woodlandwindows.com to get started today. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
Your home is a valuable asset, and you want to take care of your home. From roofs, siding, windows, and doors to furnaces, flooring, landscaping, and much more. Listen to your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio, tomorrow morning at 9. Presented by Lang Home Medical Equipment, Executive Green Carpet Cleaning, and by Valdecast Windows and Doors. Get answers from industry experts so you can make informed decisions about your home improvement. Right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Guys, let's talk game. Practice has recently wrapped up with the annual spring game, and the team has some promising new recruits to watch this fall. But how's your game? Testosterone therapy can help you get back to your best, and there's no better time to get started than this spring. I recommend Low T Centers, where I get my levels checked. At Low T Center, they make it quick and easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and get your results back in about 25 minutes. If you often feel tired, have noticed weight gain and loss of muscle mass, you may have low T levels. So go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
For anyone living with everyday aches and pains, there's a lot of things you can try. Tough it out, bite the bullet, grin and bear it. Or you can try something that has helped so many other people, Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that addresses the inflammation where pain starts. And Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain for a short time. It helps reduce or even eliminate it all day, every day. Wherever you're hurting, your back, neck, joints, or muscles, in about 3 weeks or less, you'll see a difference and rediscover what it's like to feel better and live better. So if everyday pain is affecting your life, don't go with the mind over matter approach. Try Relief Factor instead. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
This is my father, Bob,
This is my daughter, Lisa.
and we love Balance of Nature. Don't you?
You think I'm going to say no to her? Balance of Nature is a very good product. It's simple application, a simple thing to take.
It's fruits and veggie in a capsule.
That's it. Balance of Nature has helped me get along very well.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer. From the AM 560 Traffic Center.
A crash on the Dan Ryan inbound at the Bishop Ford. It's blocking the two right lanes. At the split from 95th into downtown, it's 28 minutes. Kennedy inbound, 52 from O'Hare into downtown. Outbound side of the Kennedy is 35 to the airport. On the Stevenson inbound, that on-ramp from County Line Road remains closed due to a rollover accident. From 355 to Lakeshore Drive, it's 52 minutes. Traffic is a service of scholarships.com. Imagine the news that your college student doesn't have years and years of school debt. It's avoidable when you join scholarships.com for free to find accurate and vetted scholarships personalized for your student. That's scholarships.com. Reporting today from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Areas of fog around this morning, otherwise clouds breezy, not as warm. Some occasional rain, high 58. Clouds this evening, then clearing late, low 51. Sunny warm day tomorrow, the high 67. Showers on Thursday, the high 74. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Protecting Your Assets with Steve Scheinman. Listen Saturday mornings at 8. Learn more at willsave.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. It's starting to get a little lean on me outside the courthouse in Manhattan. It's starting to get a little crazy Joe Clark out there. You have some senators who showed up, Tuberville and Vance.
Oh, yeah.
You got an attorney general from the state of Alabama who showed up to comment on the Michael Cohen testimony.
Don't forget about the AG from Iowa. She was there, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's getting a little crazy Joe Clark. You're having a, all standing outside the courthouse, say, free that Trump. Here's Alabama AG Steve Marshall on Cohen.
30 years I have been a prosecutor and cared desperately about what goes on in our criminal justice system, and I have never seen in my career a greater perversion of the criminal justice system than I witnessed this morning. We had more questions about Michael Cohen's feelings than we did connecting him to any criminal offense. When I was a district attorney, I had the privilege of being able to work with Cy Vance. I know that his team reviewed these facts and rejected any effort to use the resources of this city to pursue a sham prosecution.
Cy Vance is a Democrat, and when it asked why he passed on it and Bragg took it up, he couldn't really provide a coherent explanation because he knows what we all know, that it's all politics. And the Cohen stuff, the Cohen testimony, I mean, it really was feelings, and it's like political gossip and sniping. Michael Cohen wanted to be chief of staff, and he had other delusions of mediocrity. I mean,
right. He's a disbarred attorney who's out for revenge because he didn't get a job at the White House. That's what he wanted all along.
It's really, I actually, the most interesting thing, and it's nothing to do with the law, but nothing about this case has anything to do with the law, so why even bother with that, was the Cohen testimony. Not that you can believe a word he says, convicted perjurer.
Yeah, convicted liar, tax cheat, and someone who is shopping a Netflix deal called the Fixer.
Right. He so wanted to be Michael Clayton, but he doesn't have the skill sets or the intelligence, including the intelligence. But anyway, and this is on Trump too, because I don't know why he put that human stain around him. Anyway, if you believe Michael Cohen, or just for the sake of argument, let's say we believe him, I think it was interesting that he said that Melania is the one who came up with the sort of the locker room talk as the response to the Access Hollywood tape. You know, I mean, I think it's funny because it's just interesting to me because Melania is a bit of an enigmatic figure. She doesn't really grant that many interviews, and she's very guarded in the rare occasion when she does do a sit down. And I think she's probably sharper and tougher than you think she is. She probably knows a lot more and has reconciled a lot more than you think she has. Probably nothing that is coming out at this trial is a particular surprise to her, and wherever the truth may lie.
It's 20 years old. I mean, come on. Or 18 years or whatever.
Yeah, right.
You know, she's processed this. She knows what's going on. She's dealt with it. And so this is old news.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. I think that's probably right.
Teflon is going to roll off her.
J.D. Vance, as I mentioned out there, I think he is the front runner for Veep.
Do you really?
I think so.
All right, let me hear him.
The thing that the president is prevented from saying, which is a disgrace, is that every single person involved in this prosecution is practically a Democratic political operative. The judge inside, his daughter is making millions of dollars running against Donald Trump, raising money for Donald Trump's political opponents. The number 3 person in the Department of Justice, Biden's Department of Justice, left to become a local prosecutor to go after Donald Trump. And of course, there's Alvin Bragg, a Soros-funded prosecutor who promised to go after Donald Trump and now is doing exactly that. Now,
for more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Scott McKay, publisher of The Hayride, contributing editor at the American Spectator. Or no, wait, he's gotten a promotion last time. He's now like senior editor or editor at large or editor
Tell us about yourself, Scott.
Magnifico or something. He's also the author of the book Racism, Revenge, and Ruin. That's his book. Scott McKay, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Editor of Magnifico sounds really good.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
I think I got to pass that one along.
Yeah, pitch that up the food chain, you know. Tell us. Before we get to the trial, do you agree with me? Is Vance the front runner for Veep?
Well, I think he's certainly one of them, and it kind of gives me a queasy feeling because, I think you can elect a Republican senator from Ohio to replace Vance if he ends up becoming VP.
Right.
I don't think you can get a Republican senator from Ohio that's as good as J.D. Vance. So, I kind of feel like it might cost too much to make him vice president. But will he do a good job as VP? Yes. In fact, I've got a thing at the American Spectator this morning talking about, Trump's VP selection and this idiotic Wall Street Journal piece that appeared on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to make Nikki Haley that because you get it Nikki Haley's voters. And it's like, okay, Nikki Haley's voters are Trump voters unless they're like not Trump voters and there's nothing you can do. She brings nothing to the table other than she's a George H.W. Bush, the same way Mike Pence was. And that is the one thing that we cannot make that mistake a third time, right? Because Reagan made it with Bush in 80 and 84, and Trump made it with Pence in 16. And, you know, this is like one of the reasons why Republicans have so much trouble converting the will of their voters into reality is you don't build a train of people who will, you know, move the legacy forward. I mean, the GOP went 30 years in the wilderness with the Bushes running the place, and we couldn't fumigate them until Trump came along. That can't happen again.
You don't think as a governor and former UN ambassador or ambassador to the UN that she wouldn't do a good job?
Well,
I think she'd help get undecided females in the suburbs.
Well, but Biden is losing those on his own, though. I mean, that's the thing between, the perception and I think reality of, the streets being unsafe and the economic problems, which are really just getting started. And they spent, I think it was $40 million on television trying to convince people Bidenomics was a winner. And it's gotten worse from a public perception standpoint. Like, I don't think you need Nikki Haley to get suburban women. I think Trump probably just needs to throttle back on how caustic he is, and you probably solve that problem. Now, the Wall Street Journal did bring up Kim Reynolds, who I don't think is much of a starter because she was on DeSantis' team. But Kim Reynolds, if you want to get a female governor who's well accomplished and who is bought into the ideological mission of the America First movement, I think Kim Reynolds would be a really good choice. I don't know if Trump can get along with her.
I like Kim Reynolds, but here's the thing. I mean, this has to be a huge consideration in this selection. It should be, and I think it will be. I hope it will be. You sort of mentioned it with J.D. Vance, and I would say if you're going to go governor, it's Sarah Sanders because Kim Reynolds is 65 years old, so she'll be 69 at the end of the term, and so you need next generation. And this is why J.D. Vance makes sense. This is why Sarah Sanders makes sense because you have continuity with the direction of the party. And you have somebody to hand over the reins who represents, handing off the baton to the next generation, which there's probably going to be more desire to see next time around than even there was this time.
Yeah, well, and I think to me that's the qualification for VP. It has to be somebody who is reliably, my term is revivalist, right? Like I don't want a conservative per se because I don't want to conserve the status quo. I want to fix it. And you have to have somebody who's willing to bear some slings and arrows and fight the good fight. I'm not interested in the, steady hand crowd, the Mitch McConnells and Mike Pence's and John Thunes of the world. Do not do anything for me. I want somebody who wants to rock and roll.
Well,
because
because
Trump is not he's not a permanent fixture in American politics. We're going to get 4 years out of him and then he's out. Right. And the left would like to make that much less than 4 years by any means necessary. And so you have to be, you have to be mindful of that. And you have to give them somebody as VP that scares them worse than Trump does.
Well, the other thing is, that's interesting. The other thing is, and this applies to Tim Scott as well, is J.D. Vance has the ability to make this about sort of economic circumstance. I don't want to say class because I don't believe in class society. We don't have one. That's one of the great things about America. But I mean, he's the embodiment of that as is Tim Scott. And obviously Tim Scott layers in race and his family's history in this country. So, I mean, I think those are important Horatio Alger stories that both of those gentlemen could share that make that broaden the appeal of the party and sort of return it to this idea of it's an opportunity party for an opportunity society, and we're getting away from identity politics and back to a meritocratic, achievement-based society, because that's what a free society should look like. That's why I like those two. I mean, Sarah Sanders fits it to some extent, but obviously she's a legacy. So like those three seem to be the three candidates who would add the most value.
I don't disagree with you. I think you need somebody who at least comes off, because, Trump is not middle class, but he's got generally middle class sensibilities. Right. And I think that you have to have that with the VP as well. You cannot just say, oh, here's my blue blood vice presidential nominee, because everybody is going to associate that with Bush's, and it's going to tamp down the amount of enthusiasm that your side has, which is a big deal because this is a pure turnout election, right? Like, I think Trump has an advantage with independents. He has an advantage with soft Democrat voters. But, like, the Democrats are not trying to persuade anybody of anything anymore. It's all about turning out their base, which they think is bigger than the GOP's base. And so you have to at least match that. And I don't think you do it if everybody looks at the ticket and goes, I like Trump okay, but this guy over here or this gal over here is same old GOP, and I'm not interested. You have got to fully remake the party, which has largely been done, but it's not finished, and you don't get any help from the Republicans in Washington, in the House and Senate, to move that perception along. So you need to hit a home run with the VP choice from the standpoint of, here is somebody who's going to carry forth an America First legacy. It's somebody that you can trust. It's somebody that, is very credible to hand the torch over to. Like, to me, I don't care about regional, does it pull voters from none of that matters. And I don't really care so much about, race or sex or any of that kind of stuff, although, some of that might be a little bit helpful. The most important thing in picking a vice president is somebody that they can say, okay, because what we're voting for here is maybe 12 years of draining the swamp and fixing this rather than just 4, and then it goes back to what it is right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's psychographics, not those demographics. I completely agree with that. The other thing that Trump is doing lately is putting the brand on RFK Jr., because RFK Jr., he just got on the ballot in Texas. He's tracking to be on the ballot in all 50 states. And you see the polling when he's added benefits Trump. It adds to his leads. And he had this to say in a quick snippet about RFK Jr. this week.
So RFK's views on vaccines are fake, as is everything else about his candidacy. He is not a Republican, so don't think you're going to vote for him and feel good. He's a radical left Democrat. Let the Democrats have RFK Jr. They deserve him.
Yeah, you don't have to vote for me. Just vote for the other Democrat that you like, not the Democrat you don't like in Biden. No problem.
Well, this is kind of almost like one of those old Claire McCaskill plays, right? Remember when it was the Missouri Senate race back in, 12, I think. And, her campaign ran a bunch of ads attacking Todd Akin as too conservative for Missouri, and that ended up boosting Akin to the point where he won, and then they dropped the hammer on him after he said something stupid about abortion. And, that was a race McCaskill had no chance of winning and ended up winning it anyway. This is a little bit of that, right? Like, Trump can spend a bunch of time attacking RFK Jr. as a radical leftist and see how many votes he can peel off of Biden and give to RFK Jr.
And especially
doing that. And RFK Jr. will help.
He is helping. He'll
help.
Republicans I know are voting for him.
RFK Jr. is those aren't Republicans. RFK Jr. is helping Trump brand RFK Jr. exactly the way that Trump wants to brand him. He's on with Sage Steele this week saying, "I support abortion full term." Right. So
exactly.
Yeah, so you start to pin him down on these issues, as we know, as anybody who knows, RFK knows, and he is way left on a whole range of issues. Just because he says some things about COVID that non-COVIDians might agree with, doesn't mean that he's on your side with a full panoply of other issues that are important to you.
That's right. Like, the only two things that RFK Jr. Brings to the table that make him, more interesting than Joe Biden, well, other than the fact that he's actually somewhat lucid, which, at least used to be a consideration to run for president. But what he brings is the guy actually believes in the First Amendment, and he, is not in the pocket of big pharma when it comes to vaccinations, particularly where COVID's concerned. In every other respect, RFK Jr. is at best like an old school Daniel Patrick Moynihan liberal. And the reason that those people are not all that prevalent in American politics anymore is because none of their stuff worked. They're the people that started this decline that the Obama Democrats have accelerated. And everybody knows it. Like, this is the reason there are no more Mike Dukakis running around. But that's what he is. So, painting him as this guy is a legitimate leftist, but sure, vote for him rather than Biden. Just don't vote for him rather than me. That's the right message that Trump should be spreading.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the Boston Brahmins are not ascendant these days. This just in.
No.
Scott McKay, publisher of The Hayride, a senior editor magnifico at the American Spectator. Yeah. Author of the book Racism, Revenge, and Ruin. Scott McKay, thanks.
Hey, Dan?
Yeah.
I got one more thing. I've got a novel out called King of the Jungle. Find it on Amazon. It's 4.9 stars out of 5 among the reviews. It's awesome. Maybe we'll talk about that next time I'm on.
Wait, what's the premise of the book? Give us one line. Tease us why we should buy it.
Well, it's okay. So the book it's a satire. It's about a red-pilled billionaire who runs afoul of the Joe Deadhorse administration and decides to build a Shangri-La down in the jungles of Guyana, only to find that the Venezuelans are about to invade. And hilarity ensues from there. I'll send you guys copies of it. Y'all will love it.
Okay. All right. Scott McKay channeling his inner Tom Wolfe. Very good.
Correct.
Very good, Scott. Scott McKay, The Hayride. Revenge.
See you guys later.
Racism, Revenge, and Ruin, the nonfiction, King of the Jungle, the fiction. Thanks, as always, Scott. Appreciate it.
Yes, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Pure Talk, my sponsor, and my wireless company are now providing international roaming to over 50 countries. Now, as you plan your summer travel, make sure that your wireless company covers you at home and abroad. Now, you can get unlimited talk and text, plenty of 5G data for just $20 a month. That's less than half the price of Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile for the exact same service. Dial pound 250, say the keyword save now. Do it now. You save an additional 50% off your first month. Make the switch to Pure Talk so you can afford to travel this summer.
And Doug.
Being a spokesperson's easy, kid. Just say, customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Customize and save with Liberty Bibbity.
That's not it.
Liberty Mutual. Liberty Musical.
Nope.
Liberty, line.
It's 2 words. Liberty Mutual.
Got it. Don't not pay at libertymuttnoodle.com.
Wow. I guess I'll just do it.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
That's a wrap.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Fellas, if you are often feeling tired, noticing lack of motivation and drive, or weight gain and loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs of low testosterone levels. Don't wait. Find out. At Low T Center, they make it easy to get your levels checked. It's just a simple blood test, and with their on-site lab, you get your results back in about 25 minutes. Low T Center is not a typical doctor's office. It's concierge medicine for men. Their physicians specialize in treating low testosterone with customized treatment for each patient. The experts at Low T Center have more than a decade of experience helping patients achieve life-changing results, and most health insurance is accepted for treatment. And they also have convenient treatment options, including physician-monitored self-inject treatment for established patients that ships directly to your home each month without the need to come in for weekly visits. Right now at Low T Center, it's only $25 to get your T-level tested with results back in about 25 minutes. So get back to your best. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Spring cleaning is here. Time to brighten up those dirty rugs and carpeting. Dogs, cats, food, drinks. They can really make a mess. Look down. Are you happy how your carpets and rugs look? Let Executive Green Carpet Cleaning show you how clean really looks. Executive Green Carpet Cleaning. They're local, family-owned, and take pride in customer satisfaction, positive reviews, referrals, and working with AM 560 listeners. Right now, if you mention AM 560, you'll receive 15% off all cleaning services.
Hi, this is Kelly from Executive Green Carpet Cleaning. As a proud supporter of AM 560, allow my family the invitation into your home or business to show you what clean really looks like. Carpets, area rugs, upholstery, tile and grout, and wood floor cleaning. We do it all.
Call or text Kelly today to schedule a free quote. 630-990-8600. Mention AM 560 to receive 15% off. Call or text 630-990-8600 or schedule online at executivegreencarpetcleaning.com. executivegreencarpetcleaning.com.
At Signature Bank, going the distance for business banking customers is what we do every day. We understand that business owners have a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, a plan for growth, and don't have time to wait for a bank to respond. With Signature Bank, you not only have a banking partner that has roots right here in Chicago, but our decisions are made locally too. Signature Bank knows that when you have a question or problem about your business, you want answers. You need someone who will pick up the phone or respond to your text. You need someone who is always there for you. That's Signature Bank. We are a team that wants to get to know you and your business. Want to be Signature Bank's next success story? Give us a call today at 773-467-5630 or visit us online at signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Nobody does it quite the way you do. Why'd you have to be so good?
Oh, yeah. Sing it, Carly. Nobody does it better than BLM Brandon Johnson. Who says so? He says so. By the way,
yes.
Do you know what you spy? I almost gave it away. I was going to say.
What?
I hope I didn't give it away. Nobody does it better. What Bond movie? Theme song to
Never
what
Die
Bond
Young
movie?
or something in my eye, needle in my eye, or something.
Needle in My Eye. Yeah, that's a good guess. That was great. Hey, which Bond was in Needle in My Eye?
James Bond. No, I don't know. I'm not a Bond fan. I'm not.
What?
I know. Don't please. I just watched Godfather. Baby steps. Okay.
Spy Who Loved Me.
Spy Who Loved Me.
Spy Who Loved Me. It was
Isn't there something
Roger
about an
Moore.
eye?
Roger Moore as Bond.
Mm-hmm. And who was the Bond girl? How misogynistic of you guys.
I know. It was Daisy Duke.
Really?
Catherine Bach.
Wow.
Or no, wait, no. Catherine Bach, right? Was
Daisy
it Bach?
Dukes. That's
Catherine
what
Bach.
people wear for shorts.
Yeah.
They're Daisy Dukes.
Yeah, Catherine Bach was in that. And that was the one with Jaws. Remember Richard Kiel, Jaws?
Okay.
You didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
You know what I'm talking about.
Well, I see highlights, and there's so many Bond movies out there. It's hard to keep up.
It's just so disappointing.
I know. Sorry.
All right. Well, we'll talk about our very own James Bond, our very own 007, Mr. Gimme Dat, BLM Brandon with Ted Dabrowski, President of Wire Points, all things Illinois policy related, 737.
But now let's go into the newsroom and say hello to Crystal Blue, who's in for Mike Scott. Hi, Crystal.
Good morning. It's 55 degrees in Chicago on AM 560, The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Look for cloudy skies and showers today, high near 56. 2 women and a teenage girl are accused of stabbing another teen early this month on Chicago's far south side. Deja and Tina Davis and a 17-year-old suspect were arrested on Saturday. They're all charged with aggravated battery with great bodily harm and aggravated battery with the use of a deadly weapon. The alleged crime happened May 1st in the 700 block of East 132nd Street. 2 females suffered serious injuries but are expected to recover. Authorities are investigating after anti-Semitic flyers were placed on cars in Chicago's West Ridge neighborhood. The flyers were discovered yesterday morning on vehicles along Sherwin Avenue. Similar cutouts were left on cars in Lincoln Park in February. The public is asked to check their surveillance cameras to see if anyone was caught on video distributing the flyers. Police are continuing their search for 6 females suspected of staging several robberies on CTA trains. The crimes mostly happened on Red Line trains between May 6th and May 10th. Authorities say in each incident, the girls approached a female passenger before engaging in a fight and stealing the victim's belongings. Police provided photos caught on surveillance cameras of the alleged offenders. They range in age from 16 to 22 with varying heights and weights. News is a service of Crosscom Public Adjusters. If your home or business has an insurance claim, Crosscom will help you get what you need and have coming to you. They've helped thousands. CrosscomPublicAdjusters.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Dennis Prager says it's tough to watch.
Pro-Palestine protesters light American flag on fire outside of a World War I memorial as they spray paint Gaza on the base. To be present as you watch your civilization in decline is not experienced by most people at any given time. You and I are experiencing
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Charlie Kirk at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's Reveille. Conservative actor and filmmaker Kirk Cameron is famous for his role on Growing Pains and more recently taking on woke libraries who host drag queen story hours. He has gone around the country asking those libraries to allow him to read a story about faith, hope, and other virtues, and as expected, has been denied the same opportunities as drag queens. He's taken a number of those libraries to court and won. He also began writing virtuous children's books to teach lessons of virtue to kids. His book, called Elephants Are Not Birds, teaches children that they can't change what God made them, and they are made for a specific purpose. It's a brave new world out there for children, so Cameron appropriately calls his series of books Be Brave. In speaking with Cameron, I mentioned that we don't need Be Brave books for children, we need them for adults. He agreed. C.S. Lewis noted about courage that courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point. Lewis's observation is lost on many adults. What does it say about our current culture and generations in charge right now that there's a need to teach young children to have courage and be brave? Why aren't more adults being brave for the children? Why isn't every sane adult making sure their libraries aren't hosting drag queens? How come it's been police that have had to tear down pro-Palestinian encampments on woke college campuses instead of administrators policing their own students' behavior? It's good to see the North Carolina frat boys lauded for defending the American flag against pro-Palestinians. But the reaction to their standing up is over the top. If that's brave, then parents and adults have neglected their responsibilities. And unfortunately, they have. I'm Jeannie Ives. To learn more, listen to my radio show from 7 to 9 p.m. on Sunday and sign up for my newsletter at breakthrough-ideas.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
This is my father, Bob.
This is my daughter, Lisa.
And we love Balance of Nature. Don't you?
You think I'm going to say no to her? Balance of Nature is a very good product. It's simple application, a simple thing to take.
It's fruits and veggie in a capsule.
That's it. Balance of Nature has helped me get along very well.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer. From the AM 560 Traffic Center.
In Bensonville, a crash on York at Railroad. On I-57 southbound, an overturned truck at 45 and 52. In Elgin, a crash with injuries that remains at Shales Parkway at Walden. On the Kennedy inbound, 53 minutes O'Hare into downtown. Outbound Kennedy, 35 to the airport. Eisenhower, it's running an hour and 5 minutes in from 390. Stevenson inbound, it's 58 minutes from 355 to DeSopo Lakeshore Drive. Traffic is a service of ReviveYourLawn.com. Don't DIY, RYL, Revive Your Lawn with the landscape and design experts. Outdoor patios and kitchens, hardscapes, softscapes, lighting, and more. Get an instant online estimate today at ReviveYourLawn.com. Reporting today from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Some areas of fog this morning, otherwise clouds and breezy, not as warm. Rain today, high 58. Cloudy for this evening, clearing late tonight, low 51. Sunny and warm tomorrow, the high 67. Partly sunny, couple of showers on Thursday, the high 74. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
This hourly segment is brought to you by charlesequipment.com. Keeping you powered up, no matter what the conditions. charlesequipment.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
Insert Democrat socialist here.
Runs the Democratic House floor for 30 plus years running. He's promising this and he's stealing that. Where can you get that kind of money? He's using your house like his own piggy bank. You ought to know by now. You can pay off your house here in Illinois, but you can never keep up with the taxes. Oh, how it's always been the plan to have a taxpayer pay, no doubt. Not a matter of if anymore, but when. You're moving out.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. That theme music means it's time for our weekly confab with Ted Dabrowski, present on wirepoints.org, all things Illinois policy related. And I have to issue a mea culpa. Gosh darn it. Just to show you that I don't look things up. I try to go off memory, but sometimes my memory fails me. Plus, this was a special case, and I'll explain.
All right.
So we're talking about Carly Simon's Nobody Does It Better. That was the theme music for The Spy Who Loved Me, Bond film, Roger Moore, Richard Kiel. Other Richard Kiel Bond movie he was in, too. What was the other one, Amy? You almost got it with Needle in the Eye.
Or something, Tiger in My Eye. I have the
Tiger.
Tiger.
It was a two-eye. It was the eye sequel.
Googled.
The Needle in My Eye, then Tiger in My Eye. No.
What is it?
Maybe you saw this one, Moonraker.
Which one?
Moonraker. No. So anyway, I'm going by memory. And of course, because we have fellow cinephiles who listen to the show, I got corrected immediately. I almost corrected myself. You heard it. I said Catherine Bach was the Bond girl.
Yeah.
But it was her doppelganger from that period in time, Barbara Bach.
Oh, yeah, you got it wrong.
Barbara. I almost said Barbara. I'm like, I didn't think so. But see, I had a sort of a fixation on Daisy Duke as a young man.
Clearly.
Yeah.
For Your Eyes Only is what I'm trying. The 1981.
Yes, and the
that song, For Your Eyes Only.
And who sang the theme music to that?
Is it Sheila E? No.
Not Sheila E., but your ballpark. Keep thinking it through. Think 80s, 80 stars.
No, I know. Like, Your Eyes Only.
And please don't sing.
No, well,
Just
I had
think.
the 45.
My God, you're old. All right, so not
Don't
Sheila,
say-
but
those are in hip, by the way, LPs.
But an S. It begins with an S. You want me to give you a hint?
Anybody else? Like, nobody's
No, don't. Nobody tell
Mike
her.
Scott's not off. He's off today.
We'll work through this. We'll work through this. Remember how I taught you to read yesterday?
Yes, you
with
did.
the Thomas Jefferson
You did.
commencement.
That was good.
So we'll work through this. So think S. Female singers of the '80s begins with an S.
Sheila.
No. Would it help you if I said she also sang Sugar Walls? Would it help you if I also said she sang You've Got the Look with Prince?
Oh, that's Sheen Easter.
There it is. See?
You got the look. You got the look.
All right.
I loved Prince. God, rest in peace.
Okay, now that we have that out of the way and the
Good.
world is rebalanced, let's, Let's before we bring in Ted Dabrowski, we want him to enjoy this send-up that ABC7 did with Brandon Johnson. I didn't think they had as good a sense of humor as they clearly do. Our local Jiminy Glick, one of them, sat down with BLM Brandon on the occasion of his first anniversary, and what a year it's been, to talk about the accomplishments and the challenges that remain. He's not perfect, but, he's doing a bang-up job. He says so. So, for example, migrants, how'd you do there?
No other city in America has been able to handle this crisis as well as we have. If there's someone out there that's doing it better than Chicago, I would like to know, because we certainly will take notes.
What do you do if there is...
Yeah, right?
He challenges everybody. Like, come on, we're the best. You want a piece of this? Let's go.
He nailed it with migrants. He's killing it with crime, pun intended.
Since I've been in office, homicides and shootings continue to go down. Vehicular carjackings has gone down.
But an ABC7 data analysis finds...
The data analysis, okay, we'll skip them.
Well, the robberies are up is what the ABC data analysis projected.
Well, why do you don't focus on the fear porn. Just focus on the propaganda, please. Just accept what he says as received wisdom. On the whole contretemps over ShotSpotter, it's not a big deal. He explained it beautifully.
You have been adamant about ending ShotSpotter. Why is that?
Oh, because it didn't work.
Yeah. Was it good enough, though, to keep through the DNC?
Well, it was a part of my approach to be collaborative. I work with the corporation to phase it out so that there's a deeper opportunity to give them the chance to provide more substantive research of its benefit.
The guy is just willing to bend over backwards to see if it'll work, just to make sure that he's right, that it doesn't work.
He's so flexible because, he wants a better, stronger, safer Chicago.
And obviously that better, stronger, safer Chicago of which we all speak is occurring in part, as he was describing, because of this beautiful working relationship that he has forged through his collaborative disposition with the Chicago police.
Do you believe the police officers of this city respect you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, and I respect them.
Some officers feel like you don't have their backs. So what would be your message to those officers?
I'm grateful to have the support of the police department and my entire administration. Support the women and men who show up every single day risking their lives on behalf of the people of Chicago.
Well, they love me so much that I got uninvited to a funeral or was told not to go.
Again, relationships are going to have their up and downs, but the important thing is that they love each other, and they're going to work through it. We've come a long way. We came from Beirut on the Lake back when the honkies were being a bit obstreperous with Harold Washington, to now we have Candide on the Lake, and I think it's wonderful. Ted Dabrowski, president of wirepoints.org, joins us. Ted, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy.
A round of applause for Brandon Johnson's first year.
Hey, he survived the 1 year, and I can't wait for the next three. What I'm amazed at, we've all talked about the crime and the education and the migrants and what a mess. Frankly, I'm deeply, deeply concerned about where Chicago heads and how we get out of this. But one of the things that's not discussed, but I picked up from the Tribune article, was this whole, and I got to wonder what the business community, the larger business community, is thinking, because nobody talks about jobs and the economy and what the markets mean, what the big employers mean. You look at the Tribune article, and it's all about his handing out of money, how he is going to help all these different people by giving them money. His biggest news is his $1.25 billion bond borrowing. He's going to borrow money to hand out for housing and things like that.
Well, that's how you create jobs.
Yeah, and so it's the actual destruction of the city in a much more structural way than the ones that we typically see through the crime and through the migrants. And so that's the one that nobody's talking about. And you got to wonder what the big corporate guys are thinking, because he doesn't have their backs either. And of course it's of their own fault. They're not speaking up, but that's the broader destruction, where you have fewer jobs, a weaker economy, and all the handouts that he does do no good because people in the end can't get jobs.
Well, what about his position, though, on ShotSpotter? I mean, because he says it's not working, but yet we're keeping it here through the DNC for a reason, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's just purely political. He doesn't want it. It's racist to him. Never mind, a lot of aldermen know that it at least helps. It's hard to know we'll never know what the true cost effectiveness of it is. But my guess is from what I've seen and read is that it helps certainly a lot of areas, especially the high crime areas where police can't show up to everything. But he's a politician. He's playing it out the way you would expect him to play it out. But he's just covering his butt.
Hey, with respect to Chicago Public Schools, I mentioned this a bit earlier when we were doing a little compare and contrast with this Catholic school in Louisiana that's doing incredible work educating young black girls. Catholic school that's 100%. That's a girls' school, and it's 100% black. 17 years in a row, 100% graduation, 100% college acceptance. They got math geniuses. They got all kinds of people of accomplishment that they're producing. And I noted the CPS thing. I mean, I know that we got to cough up some cash to make sure that they're earning a fair wage. But what's going on with this absenteeism among the teachers at CPS? Are we not providing good enough working conditions? Is that it? Is that what the $50 billion is going, and the $1 billion more from the state? Is that what that's going to fix so that they feel more comfortable coming to work?
Yeah, people keep forgetting. Maybe people don't know, but spending per pupil is up 40% in the last 4 or 5 years at CPS. So we're spending, when you take in all the money, we're spending $20,000 a student in 2019, which is already a lot. It's up at 30,000 now, and so
well, let's go to 40. It sounds like we're still a little light. We got to get to 40.
Well, that's the goal, of course. And so we got tons of money going in, but then somebody, I forget who gave us a heads up, said look at the teacher. We've been talking a lot about the kids not coming in, and of course COVID destroyed that, right? We taught kids that you didn't have to come to school. Teachers could strike to not go to school, and so somebody told us, hey, take a look at the teacher absence rate, and it's phenomenal, right? 43% of teachers have been chronically absent. And that's an amazing stat considering how many days off they get anyway. All the federal holidays, all the built-in holidays, all the sick leave, the COVID leave. It's phenomenal, and you can't help but. I mean, not that it matters because I'm not sure. They say that teachers not being in school really hurts performance, but I think at CPS, I don't think there's a big correlation to that. It's just another sad fact to how dysfunctional CPS is.
Well, tomorrow's a big day. I got an email ways to support the May 15th Day of Action to fully fund CPS. They're going to have
finally.
They're having CPS educators are going to join district and labor leaders in Springfield to advocate. Wait for it. For more equitable state funding for CPS schools.
I've been waiting all year for that Day of Action.
CPS schools, they say, are underfunded by $1.1 billion, and they want their money.
I mean, we can just repeat it ad nauseum. The teachers are some of the highest paid in the country. We're spending $30,000 a student. People are fleeing the district.
The $30,000 per student. The $30,000 per student. I mean, just again, some perspective on that. Compare and contrast that to, say, like some of the wealthier suburban school districts. What does that spend look like? Within a range.
It's pretty similar to New Trier. It's certainly more than Wilmette, the elementary school. It's a good number, right? It's up there with some of the best in the state. Obviously, there's a little extra money in places like New Trier, but $30,000 is not chump change. And
we don't have nice things.
And then when you compare to downstate, though, then you start talking about 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 a student. So, CPS is getting its healthy share of funding. That, of course, doesn't take into account a lot of kids don't attend school at CPS. So, really that money is even more per student for those who show up at school.
I'm thinking about that absentee problem, and I'm thinking probably what we need is, I know this is a bit counterintuitive, but, I'm an innovative thinker. I think we need shorter school days and shorter school years. Everybody says longer school day, longer school years. Let's make them shorter, right?
Yeah. Well, that's effectively what they're doing, right, by not showing up.
Yeah, well,
That's
exactly.
good
But we should
innovation, Dan.
codify that. Yeah, we should. I should probably maybe be part of Stacey Davis Gates' bargaining team. I'm thinking.
She's probably listening right now.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to be constructive. The likelihood that that CTU gets just about everything it wants. The likelihood that all this talk about striking as is pro forma is just so much window dressing to present the false notion that there's some sort of real bargaining that goes on between management and labor here. This is all just a facade, as it's been for generations, right? Nothing's changed.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been. You can think of them as fighting from time to time, but really they're fighting for the same thing, and that's just more power and more money. They just how to divide the spoils, right? You've had this long-term monopoly of providing schools, which is CPS, and then you've got the monopoly providing teachers, which is the Chicago Teachers Union, and they pretend like they fight, but they're in the same boat. They want more money, more power. And making sure this is why schools don't get shut down, right? That's why you have all these empty, failing schools. It's why you can ask for 9% annual increases, things like that. But yeah, it's performative at best, and there might be some fights, but it'll be because it's not agreeing on how to divide the spoils.
So Jelly Belly has slated about $830 million in subsidies for Rivian, the electric car maker, and their trucks are pretty cool looking, so that's fine by me. As long as you make cool looking products, then you deserve whatever you want from the state. But isn't that one of the EV companies that's most likely to go BK?
Well, I spent a lot of time on this because I was quite sensitive. I'm actually a big fan of those trucks. I go to car shows and I see them and I like them. So nothing personal on this, and I wouldn't be well. Anyway, they're cool.
Yeah.
But that said, it's not for the governor and for our bureaucrats. And here we are talking about Johnson and Pritzker and a lot of the dysfunction we have in our state. And here you go, Governor Pritzker deciding that Rivian should get $827 million in subsidies over the next 30 years. And I'm like, wait a minute. And so I dug in, and if you look at what's happening in the EV industry, and then you read about Rivian, you realize that Rivian had no choice. They really were. They're in a deep, on a tightrope right now. And there's only one place that they could kind of bring their investments. They decided not to open their Georgia plant, $5 billion. So they had to build in Illinois. But
right.
They had nowhere else to go.
Where they get taxpayer cash. Right.
Right. And so they had nowhere else to go. And so then the second part is there's a lot of concern that they may be bankrupt in the next 2 years. Now, they may get bought out by somebody, but they also just may be bankrupt. They've got 5 quarters of cash left. So what the heck is our governor, even if you love Rivian, even if you like EV, you still, even then, you don't want your governor taking taxpayer money and giving it to a company that's near bankruptcy.
I think we should.
And I'm not trying to predict. Trying to predict where Rivian goes, right? I'm only saying that I don't care what you think. The governor has no business giving money to a nearly bankrupt company.
Well, he is a successful tech entrepreneur. Don't forget.
Right.
I know.
Put that on his resume?
Yeah, he told us. So that's how I know, and I believe everything he says, like most of Illinoisans. And I think if it comes to it, then we should just buy Illinois and have Pritzker. Buy Illinois, have Illinois buy Rivian, and have Pritzker run it as a state enterprise. I mean, if Brandon Johnson is going to set up city-run grocery stores, why doesn't Pritzker set up a state-run EV manufacturer?
Well, yeah, somebody else said, hey, why doesn't he require every government employee to own a Rivian? And that would
exactly. We'll pay for them. Yeah.
This whole thing is the whole legal corruption. This is exactly what's the problem with Illinois. This is a perfect example of how money's misused, how taxpayers are abused, and how most people have no clue that it happened, right? It's just their money. But, and don't forget that to give Rivian $1 billion in tax subsidies, that money has to come from somebody else. All those companies who are struggling with some of the highest taxes in the country, they had to give up their money so that Rivian could be favored.
Well, everybody's equal. Some are more equal than others. That's how it works in Animal Farm. Ted Dabrowski, president of wirepoints.org, all things Illinois policy related. Thanks as always, Ted.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer. From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the brightest minds in conservative opinion, it's Salem News Channel. Home to the biggest shows on TV, like Dennis Prager, weekdays at noon Eastern, followed by Jay and Jordan Seculo at 2. Join SNC, where facts are sacred, critical thinking is celebrated, and the pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free now on Zumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/Zumo. AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 8:08, Emerson College professor fired for teaching his students how to think critically. The horror at 8:08.
Today we're going to have a chance of showers. Cloudy, a lot cooler than yesterday, a high near 59 degrees. Tonight also a chance of showers. And then tomorrow, just wait for it, plenty of sunshine, a high near 67 degrees. It's now 8 a.m. WIND Chicago.
Former President Trump has arrived for day 17 of his trial. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and House Speaker Mike Johnson will also be there showing support in New York as Michael Cohen gets ready to testify again about paying Stormy Daniels to hide an alleged Trump affair.
Yesterday, in the stunning testimony from Cohen, Trump's former lawyer and loyal fixer, he implicated the former president directly into the scheme to falsify business records to protect Trump's 2016 presidential campaign.
Fox's Eric Shaw outside the court.
Just wait for the cross-examination. Trump's lawyer, Todd Blanche, is going to try to rip Michael Cohen apart, completely tear her story piece by piece.
In a few minutes, we might hear from the former president on his way into the courthouse, likely once again calling the case a hoax and political, trying to derail his 2024 campaign. President Biden will focus on the economy later today at a White House Rose Garden event. Fox's Jackie Heinrich's there.
Today, the president will announce plans to keep certain Trump tariffs on Chinese imports in place and significantly raise some others. It affects electric vehicles, which will jump from 25 to 100%. Also, semiconductors, batteries, steel, and aluminum. Even though back in 2020, Biden criticized the Trump tariffs and even pledged to repeal some of them.
We just got an inflation update showing wholesale prices rose 0.5% last month, more than expected. The annual rate of producer price increase also rose, now at 2.2%, up from 1.8% in March. Tomorrow we'll get the April update on inflation of consumer prices. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Ukraine touting new U.S. military aid.
The assistance is now on the way. Some of it's already arrived. More of it will be arriving. And that's going to make a real difference against the ongoing Russian aggression.
As Russian forces take control of more areas, advancing on the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. In Gaza, as Israel keeps battling Hamas, the UN says 500,000 Palestinians have been displaced, fleeing the fighting. America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. It's 55 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Look for cloudy skies and showers today, high near 56. Chicago police are investigating an attempted armed robbery on the north side. Authorities say a man was riding his scooter last night in the 2200 block of North Clybourne Avenue when a red sedan approached and 3 unknown offenders armed with handguns exited and demanded property. The victim fell to the ground and suffered a minor head injury. The victim refused medical attention, and no one is in custody. A teen is recovering after being stabbed in downtown Chicago. Police say the 15-year-old was on the sidewalk Sunday in the 100 block of North Dearborn Avenue when 4 men approached him. 2 of the men pulled out knives and stabbed the teen in the back. The teenage victim was hospitalized in fair condition. No one is in custody. Illinois lawmakers are making another effort to create a statewide office to help under-resourced public defenders. Senate President Don Harmon filed an initial bill to create an Office of Public Defense trial support last month, but it failed to gain any traction, so Harmon pulled it. Another bill filed yesterday further details how the statewide system would work. The goal of the new office is to address the lack of public defense resources in rural areas. Several Chicago aldermen are calling on Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor Pritzker to replace the head of the Chicago Transit Authority. 19 council members have signed a resolution that calls for CTA President Dorval Carter to resign. The complaints include failing to add enough rail and bus operators and not keeping up with post-pandemic service recoveries seen in other big cities like Washington, D.C. and New York City. Hundreds of Chicago public schools teachers and staff members will be heading downstate tomorrow to lobby lawmakers in Springfield. Educators and staffers will be asking legislators for more state funding. CPS gave the employees a paid day off to make the trip. News is a service of Turnkey.pro. Turnkey's real-time threat hunting defends you, your employees, and your customers from vulnerable cyber attacks. Shield your complete infrastructure from malware, phishing, scams, and other threats. Turnkey has solutions to protect your business. Visit Turnkey.pro. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes, but time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
China is pushing back against expected U.S. tariff hikes. The Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson telling reporters Beijing will take all necessary actions to protect its rights beyond raising tariffs on electric vehicles. The White House says that the president is increasing a key tariff rate on steel and aluminum products to 25% from 7.5%, while the tariff on solar cells would rise to 50% from 25%. And a report finds Gen Zers who are in their early 20s are earning less, have more debt, and higher delinquency rates than millennials did at their age. This according to credit reporting agency TransUnion, which outlined credit usage of 22 to 24-year-olds. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
Make sure that you never miss a day of Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson when you subscribe to the Chicago's Morning Answer podcast, presented by Signature Bank. Listen to the entire show each day on demand with limited commercial breaks. You can subscribe today for free at 560theanswer.com and click on podcasts or search for Chicago's Morning Answer on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Being present and in the moment for family activities was impossible because Will Burt was so focused on the constant pain in his leg.
My wife likes to take walks. I always kind of dreaded going on walks because they hurt. The boys both play baseball. I coach their teams. I was going to do them and be in pain and be uncomfortable and kind of sacrifice my own health.
An old Achilles injury left Will coping with agonizing pain until he discovered the natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No surgery or steroids. The procedure took place in the office, and Will walked right out.
I feel great. There's no pain. There's no tenderness.
Patients like Will are feeling amazing and living their best lives.
Ironically, just got off the golf course today, so I think that's a good telltale sign that the Achilles is feeling better.
Don't be in pain another day. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Everyone knows the old saying, nothing lasts forever. Well, whoever said that obviously never bought a timeshare. Not only do your maintenance fees and assessment fees go on forever, they go up forever. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Over 10 years ago, I was a timeshare salesman. But once I saw the dark side of the business, I quit. I started helping folks get out of their timeshares. Since then, we've helped over 30,000 families by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-839-8484. That's 800-839-8484. 800-839-8484.
For anyone living with everyday aches and pains, there's a lot of things you can try. You know, tough it out, bite the bullet, grin and bear it. Or you can try something that has helped so many other people, Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that addresses the inflammation where pain starts. And Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain for a short time. It helps reduce or even eliminate it all day, every day. Wherever you're hurting, your back, neck, joints, or muscles, in about 3 weeks or less, you'll see a difference and rediscover what it's like to feel better and live better. So if everyday pain is affecting your life, don't go with the mind over matter approach. Try Relief Factor instead. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer. From the AM 560 Traffic Center.
In Glen Ellen, a crash at Park Boulevard and Butterfield. Eden's inbound, 22 minutes like Cook to Montrose. Kennedy in an hour from O'Hare into downtown. Outbound Kennedy, 40 to get out to the airport. On the Eisenhower in, it's still an hour and 5 from 390 to Congress. Outbound Ike at 48 minutes. Stevenson in at 56 from 355 to DeSapa Lakeshore Drive. And the Dan Ryan in at 32 minutes from 95th. Traffic is a service of scholarships.com. Imagine the news that your college student doesn't have years and years of school debt. It's avoidable when you join scholarships.com for free to find accurate and vetted scholarships personalized for your student. That's scholarships.com. Reporting today from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Some areas of fog this morning, otherwise clouds and breezy, not as warm. Rain today, high 58. Cloudy for this evening, clearing late tonight, low 51. Sunny and warm tomorrow, the high 67. Partly sunny, couple of showers on Thursday, the high 74. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. By the way, you mentioned Sheila E. I just wanted to, I was thinking about this. One of the great shows I saw, and I saw many shows at Buddy Guy's Legends.
Mm-hmm.
A huge Buddy Guy fan, huge blues fan. I was a fixture there back in the day when I was young.
Didn't Quinn bartend there?
Quinn did. Yeah, he was at Buddy Guy's. That's right.
Quinn?
Yeah.
Quinn here, or was he at Kingston Mines, or was he?
No. He was at Legends. He was at Legends. Yeah. I don't know if he made it when they had to move locations. I don't know. He may have gotten cut at that point. I'm not sure.
I came in second place in a karaoke contest there with Robin Meade.
Did you really?
Anywho, yes, we were
at
singing
Legends.
Yeah, they had a karaoke contest, a celebrity karaoke contest.
What did you guys sing? Bad to the Bone?
God. It was we sang Linda Ronstadt. I've been cheated.
Oh boy.
Been mistreated. When will I be loved?
With not a dry in the house, I bet.
Oh, he brought it down.
Yeah.
Brought the place down. But anyway, so back to you and your story.
Well, I mean, I love Buddy Guy's music and blues music, and I love this place so much. And he got such great acts in there, including crossover artists like Sheila E. So I saw Sheila E. This is going back a ways now. At Buddy Guy's, and that was raucous. That was a ton of fun, and she pulled a Buddy Guy. She's out in the audience doing the glamorous life.
Talented, yep.
She's great. But anyway, so it just reminded me that of happier times in Chicago.
Now, did you go alone? I could just see you sitting in a corner by yourself.
A guy went.
I don't mean to be rude. It's okay to be.
No, I mean I would happily go alone to Legends or just about anywhere else. I find myself to be engaging, delightful company. But one of my friends from high school, I've mentioned him before, Graham Thompson, he founded Optimo Hats, which I think they still have in the Monadnock building. He's got a shop there. But he made tons of hats for blues musicians, including Buddy Guy, so we would go there a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, anyway. All right.
I put the song For Your Eyes Only on my playlist during the break.
There you go.
And then also the Carly Simon song you keep playing.
All right. Misty watercolor memories of the way we were.
Better. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So remember back, this is going back a ways, but there was a time in K through 12 education, as well as higher education, where teachers and professors would teach their students how to think, not what to think. Is anybody familiar with this concept? Yeah, not anymore. I know it's not au courant these days, but there was such a time, and there was a throwback professor named Warren Smith at Emerson College in Boston. Emerson College, you might recall, was in the news last week. That was where they had a riot at one of the administration buildings where students were assaulting police officers in riot gear, pushing up against their shields, hitting them with the big Hinckley water bottle. That was at Emerson. Anyway, Warren Smith, we brought this to you when it first appeared a while back because it went viral, because it's so out of the ordinary these days. And he, in addition to this, what you're about to hear, he would post a bunch of, he would post videos on YouTube under the heading Secret Scholars that would be content of this sort. Show people how to think, processing the controversial issues of the day through, evidence and logic and asking questions, sort of Socratic method sort of thing. So this was the incident in class that went viral. Warren Smith doing a thought exercise with a student on J.K. Rowling and the question as to whether or not J.K. Rowling was transphobic, as she had been widely accused to be, because she believes there's a difference between men and women and it's immutable. All right, so here's the exchange between Warren Smith and one of his former students.
So these guys want to talk about J.K. Rowling? Is that so? What's going on with that? What do you want to know?
She's had a pretty controversial past. I just want to know, what are your thoughts on it? And, do you still like her work despite her bigoted opinions?
So let's get specific, though. Let's define bigoted opinions. What opinions are bigoted? We're going to treat this as a thought experiment. I'm not going to say what's right or wrong or what way to think. The whole point is to learn how to think, not what to think.
Yeah.
So when you say bigot, you're starting with the conclusion that, given her bigoted opinions.
Yeah.
So first, let's start with, does she have bigoted opinions? So when you say bigoted opinions,
she has had a history of being extremely transphobic, I've heard.
Hey, you've heard. So what? Can you give me an example?
If you look at her Twitter, I think you could see a few things. If you want, I could try and find
see
something.
See if you can find one.
So, one of these tweets that she came out with in 2019, she said, "Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real."
So you find that bigoted? What do you find about
it was
in there?
It was deemed transphobic. I myself.
Do you find that transphobic yourself?
I don't really have an opinion on it, but I'm just going with what a lot of other people have said.
So let's pause there. Let's not go with what other people are saying. Let's try and learn how to critically think. So let's analyze the tweet ourselves. So that statement, do you see anything problematic, disregarding other people's opinions?
She did try and pin some things on a specific group of people.
Where does she do that? Can you read that?
But force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real.
So when I hear that, I'm interpreting that as meaning, if a woman says that, saying that there's a difference between men and female, and then being attacked as transphobic, I think that's what she's saying by attacking someone for stating that sex is real.
That is exactly what she's saying.
Is that transphobic to you?
So, to me, no. Stating that sex is real is not transphobic. It's just a fact of life. It exists.
So is there anything you disagree with in that tweet?
In that tweet, I can't really see anything that I myself disagree with.
Do you think it's fair that that she's being attacked by a large group of people and people are calling her, like you said at the beginning of this conversation, you said, given the fact that J.K. Rowling is transphobic, how do you feel about Harry Potter? Now, retroactively looking at that statement, do you think that was the best way to phrase?
No, I feel like an idiot now.
The definition of a teachable moment. By the way, I would have probably lost patience when he kept saying "I myself."
Oh, yeah.
Don't say that. Don't say that. That's I put that right there with, as a fill in the identity blank. As a honky male, I believe this. Who cares what just tell me what you think. So
that
that's
was a good moment for that child.
It was great. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
Right? Well, Emerson College is, one of these $55,000 a year small liberal arts schools with a bunch of neo-Jacobins, as was on display last week, I just described, with the model Hamas protesters. So it was just a matter of time until this happened.
Yesterday, it was like being a character in a video game and just being deleted. And the rest, it's like you were never there. It was remarkable by people that love to pretend they're your teammates and...
Fired. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. There's no...
On what grounds?
Well, they didn't give him any grounds. They just took his stuff and said, you're done. He said he posted this like 6-minute explanation. It was just like, they took my laptop. I'm working on a novel. I got 2 years worth of work there and so on and so forth. They just took it, didn't give me much reason. I don't know if I've got a severance package. They told me not to divulge anything and so on and so forth, but I'm just divulging that I got fired. And that was that. Why did he get fired? Because, well, he's interested in teaching children how to critically think, not to regurgitate propaganda. And that has no place at Emerson College or most of higher education. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Right?
Sad world we live in.
We've had so many examples of this. This is the latest one. But he would do the other things that were offensive. In addition to teaching kids how to critically think, he had been on like Dave Rubin's podcast. I think he may have been on Jordan Peterson's as well when that moment that we just played went viral. And so now you're hanging out with a bad crowd too. It's not just what you're doing; you're also hanging out with the element, but element that believes in. A college is a free marketplace of ideas and so on and so forth, rather than as an indoctrination camp. And it's a nice illustration of what will and won't be tolerated by the tolerant. I liked what he referenced there, too, in terms of his colleagues. You're just sort of lying in wait, right? Lying in wait for the moment, whether maybe I don't know his particular circumstances, if he was up for tenure or for a contract renewal or whatever, but they're lying in wait and they shine you on and they say we're colleagues and you think you have good relationships with people. I have good relationships. Many of the professors in my department disagree with me and many of the students do, but I have good relationships with them and we talk things out in a reasonable way. And it's fine because it's okay to disagree. And of course it is okay to disagree from the perspective of an actual academic like Warren Smith. It's not okay to disagree from the perspective of these indoctrinators, the Torquemadas on campus. And if they can't get you right away when all the attention is on you and by extension the school, then they'll wait. They got all the time in the world because they have command control of institutions like Emerson College. So we can wait them out. We'll wait for the right time and then we'll pop them. And that's what they did. Ken in Geneva, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, hi, and thanks for your program. I always listen to it, and I love it.
Thank you.
I wanted to just share, because we hear about a lot of colleges around the country, and it sometimes sounds like it's happening everywhere else. It's happening here in Illinois quite a bit, and I serve as an adjunct instructor at a couple universities. One of them was promoting to the faculty, asking the faculty to invite students to a workshop on the toxicity of whiteness.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Now, that was so offensive, and I raised the question to the chancellor and asked for an apology to all students, parents, faculty, because it was a completely racist, bigoted workshop and a statement and a way of phrasing it. And what I wanted to share with you and your listeners is just we can't sit back and think this is happening somewhere else. It's happening here, and parents have to get involved. And as parents do get involved and as students get involved, the tide slowly shifts, but these institutions are sick. and the federal government is threatening to withhold funding from them if they don't promote certain agendas of indoctrination. I had one other point I wanted to ask you, if there's time, if you allow me to. I'm wondering, and maybe some listeners might be able to add context to this, but the state's attorney's office, which is licensed attorneys to practice law, have been promoting violating federal law, and in Kane County, they're promoting things to allow criminals that crossed our border to be able to vote. And I'm wondering, is that an act that violates the Illinois Bar Association, American Bar Association, and can they be disbarred for promoting breaking federal laws as a state's attorney? And I'd be interested to hear thoughts on that, because I think we need to be more aggressive if we want conservative values to exist. Otherwise, we're going to get trampled on by people, including the state's attorney's office, who break the law and tell people to break the law.
Well, I don't know exactly what is being promoted by those in the Kane County State's Attorney's Office, but if they're sort of promoting legislation that would allow people in this country illegally to vote in state and local elections, then they could do that. Federal law obviously just governs federal elections,
including the state's attorney's office, who break the law and tell.
Oh, so we lost Ken, but I mean that's it. There are jurisdictions that have that allow people in the country illegally to vote in state and local elections, right? We know this. So yeah, I mean that's where it's going. Although there was, I mean I don't know exactly what's being said or what's emanating from the Kane County State's Attorney's Office that probably deserves a look into. John Solomon, though, I think it was John Solomon, posted something. It was Center for Immigration Studies that 10 to 27% of non-citizen adults in the U.S. are now illegally registered to vote. And you had Comer just raise a flag on Biden's executive order to look into what federal government agencies are doing to register people to vote, and if there's a bit of a conspiracy afoot to violate federal law where it's black letter that people in this country legally cannot vote in federal races.
No, then it's a federal crime and they can get deported if they do.
Theoretically.
Right. But then they should be getting deported when they commit, violent crimes, but they're not.
Right. So the law is the law to the extent it's enforced. So, yeah, precisely. Kevin in Austin, Texas.
Good morning, Amy and Dan. The teacher who was, I can't believe he was actually, I don't know if that's technically the Socratic method or not, but how can teachers be using the Socratic method to use to try to teach truth and critical thinking? So I'm kind of appalled by that with my tongue firmly implanted in my cheek. And then the other thing is, what the left does, it's like, was it George Brett and Billy Martin? They allow things to go on, but once it's going to hurt them, they try to get the right on a technicality, and the right falls every time for that canard of giving up people on the right.
Oh, you're talking about the pine tar incident.
Yeah, the pine tar incident, right? It's like, Billy Martin knew about that for a long time, right? He knew he was using tar until George Brett threw up a dinger with a 2-run homer, and it hurt him. Then he tried to protest and make a big deal out of it.
Right.
The left does that all the time, and the right doesn't.
Thanks
the
for the
right's got to
call,
get a little bit smarter than that.
Thanks for the call. Maybe we need to go a little bit more George Brett. I mean, remember that iconic reaction to him being called out for too much pine tar in his bat, where he sprinted out of the dugout and lost his mind? Maybe. Yeah, maybe not quite that aggressive, but a little bit more aggressive. I agree. Dan and Amy, Chicago's Morning Answer.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Gold and silver are at world record highs. The time to sell is now. PGS Golden Coin is Chicagoland's #1 valuables dealer, specializing in rare coins and precious metals. PGS Golden Coin Springtime Clean Out Buying Event. Grandma's jewelry box could be worth thousands. Mom's sterling silver flatware and tea sets could be worth thousands. Dad's coin collection could be worth thousands. Do not miss this opportunity. Gold and silver are at all-time highs. PGS Golden Coin, Chicagoland's valuables expert with 45 years experience. PGS Golden Coin is an A+ Better Business Bureau accredited business with thousands of 5-star reviews. 4 locations in Palatine, Schaumburg, Wheaton, and Villa Park. Now is the time to get the most money for your precious metals. Call PGS Golden Coin today. 888-416-2701. That's 888-416-2701. Or visit them online at pgsgoldencoin.com. Mention you heard this ad on AM 560 and get a free evaluation. pgsgoldencoin.com.
PGS, when it comes to your valuables, they're the best.
All right, we're getting closer to one of the best days of the year. That's our annual AM 560 golf outing. This year, it will be Wednesday, June 19th at the McRae Golf Course in Barrington, Illinois. And we want to remind you that portions of the proceeds go to Tunnel to Towers. And that is a great organization. You'll be helping them to care for the families of fallen first responders. So we need people to sign up for this to help that wonderful organization. And if you're a business owner or make the marketing decisions for your company, this will be great. You'll be having a fun day of golf, helping Tunnel to Towers Foundation, and you'll be helping yourselves because when you sign up with a foursome, we will give you 25 one-minute commercials, plus a free marketing digital package to help you get more customers. So it's really a great way to get into advertising on the radio, and it's the best deal in all of Chicagoland radio. So it's a great networking opportunity as well. We'll have 200 attendees, business owners, decision makers, influencers who are like-minded and want to support Tunnel to Towers and AM 560. We have availability in the morning. There's a 7:30 shotgun start, and the afternoon is earlier this year. It's not at 2, it's at 1 p.m., so we're starting earlier in the afternoon to move things along. There's going to be a buffet lunch. For the morning golfers, there's a boxed breakfast, a buffet dinner. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, that Tunnel to Towers Association. Remember we had the 2 guys from Tunnel to Towers out last year at the outing, and they gave presentations on the work they're doing. It was incredible. I mean, these are it's an incredible organization. The guys that represented them were just outstanding, and they had the place, all riled up. It was really good.
Yeah, so please sign up today, 560theanswer.com/golf. We have twosomes and foursomes available. This will sell out, so do it today, 560theanswer.com/golf.
Oh no, is this real?
What is it?
Someone or something is taking over my computer.
Wait, same thing on my computer. Is the network down?
Look, there's a message asking for ransom money.
What?
Yeah, it says, we have encrypted all of your company data and you have to pay us to get it back.
What do we do?
Cyber attacks are real and more common than you may think, especially on small businesses. Is your company protected? At Turnkey, we don't pay ransoms because our customers are completely protected and backed up. Is your company covered? No matter what your company does, Turnkey has the solutions to protect your business with cutting-edge IT, real-time threat hunting, with help desk and network support. Turnkey keeps cyber criminals at bay for a reasonable cost. What's your company's data worth? Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Not even Nucky Thompson is safe in New York City these days. Steve Buscemi got beat up. That's the second cast member from Boardwalk Empire to be beaten up in the last couple of months.
Uh-oh.
They hit Arnold Rothstein before that. We'll talk about that with Carol Markowitz from the New York Post, as well as the crime of men in women's sports, 8:38.
Yeah, we beat up Empire stars here in Chicago. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
And, yeah, where's Jussie Smollett's MAGA country? All right, but now let's head into the newsroom. Crystal Blue is in for Mike Scott. Hi, Crystal.
Good morning. It's 55 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Look for cloudy skies and showers today, high near 56. Detectives are investigating after a woman was gunned down in a kitchen on the city's south side. The crime happened Sunday night in the 6100 block of South King Drive. The victim was found with a gunshot wound to the chest and was taken to the hospital where she later died. No one is in custody. Authorities are investigating a deadly overnight two-vehicle crash in north suburban Glenview. The collision happened Sunday in the 1200 block of East Lake Avenue. Police say Marco Niketic, who was driving one of the vehicles, was pronounced dead at the scene. 3 other people were taken to nearby hospitals. 2 of the passengers were in critical condition, and the driver of the other vehicle had non-life-threatening injuries. Glenview police and a major crash task force are investigating the incident. Negotiations are stalled between pro-Palestinian protesters and DePaul University. DePaul student body president Parveen Mundi says the demonstrators will remain on campus until the university meets their demands, which includes the university cutting ties with Israel. The university's president released a statement saying discussions with the divestment coalition are at an impasse. The president added they have worked to respond to each of the demands of the students, but they're concerned they are not on a path to understanding. News is a service of quick delivery service. When you need same-day delivery, when you need the fastest service, when you need last-minute delivery, call Quick Delivery Service, 847-534-2244. Or go to quickdelivery.com and get a quote right now. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
November 2nd, 2020, marked the 100th anniversary of the first commercial radio broadcast. We're still here, and we're bigger and better than ever. You can still listen to us over this great radio station, but now there are no limitations. Your smartphone is now your smart radio. Listen to us online on the app, TuneIn.com, iHeartRadio, and Odyssey.com. Your smart speaker can find us too. With radio, there is no separation anxiety. We're always on. AM 560, The Answer.
Gold and silver are at world record highs. The time to sell is now. PGS Gold & Coin is Chicagoland's #1 valuables dealer, specializing in rare coins and precious metals. PGS Gold & Coin Springtime Clean Out Buying Event. Grandma's jewelry box could be worth thousands. Mom's sterling silver flatware and tea sets could be worth thousands. Dad's coin collection could be worth thousands. Do not miss this opportunity. Gold and silver are at all-time highs. PGS Gold & Coin, Chicagoland's valuables expert with 45 years experience. PGS Gold & Coin is an A+ Better Business Bureau accredited business with thousands of 5-star reviews. 4 locations in Palatine, Schaumburg, Wheaton, and Villa Park. Now is the time to get the most money for your precious metals. Call PGS Gold & Coin today, 888-416-2701. That's 888-416-2701. Or visit them online at pgsgoldandcoin.com. Mention you heard this ad on AM 560 and get a free evaluation. pgsgoldandcoin.com.
PGS. When it comes to your valuables, they're the best.
In the fast-paced rhythm of life, where demands can be relentless and time is precious, prioritizing your well-being can be hard. Not to worry. Balance of Nature fruits and veggies supplements are convenient and easy to add to any schedule. Paired with eating more fresh produce, regular exercise, and a positive mindset, Balance of Nature fruits and veggies supplements can help you keep your rhythm. Whether it be excelling in your day-to-day or just living in the moment, start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code
Chicago.
Hi, it's Sean Thompson here. You know when you're at the mall and you go to those directory signs, the one that says you are here? Well, imagine that directory is a map of your preparation for retirement. Would you know where you are? My friend Tom Fortino at Alpha Wealth Group is offering you the opportunity to not only find yourself on that map, but also find the route toward a successful retirement. He calls it his retirement roadmap. You'll get an analysis of where you are right now, whether you're at risk if the market drops again, whether you're taking advantage of the latest tax changes, and much, much more. To get an idea where you stand on the road to retirement, call my friend Tom Fortino at the Alpha Wealth Group today at 630-934-1855. That's 630-934-1855. And ask for the retirement roadmap or visit alphawealthgroup.com. And don't forget to listen to the Alpha Wealth Hour Saturday mornings right here on AM 560, The Answer at 9 a.m.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
In Carroll Stream, a crash on North Avenue at County Farm, accident in Oak Park at Harlem Avenue at Randolph. On the Tri-State 294 north at the Hinsdale Oasis, those 2 left lanes blocked. Dan Ryan, inbound accident. It has been cleared. Inbound Lake Cook to Montrose at 36 minutes. Canadian, it has a medical emergency off to the right side at Irving Park. 1 hour from O'Hare into downtown. This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Use the experts on hiring for professional roles. Visit srgexpress.com to connect with professionals in accounting, IT, and engineering. The specialized recruiting group takes an individual approach, placing people in contract and full-time roles. srgexpress.com. Reporting from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Some areas of fog this morning, otherwise clouds and breezy, not as warm. Rain today, high 58. Cloudy for this evening, clearing late tonight, low 51. Sunny and warm tomorrow, the high 67. Partly sunny, couple of showers on Thursday, the high 74. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We've got another men and women's sports story for you. This story comes to us from the state of California. Gee, what a surprise. A surfing competition in Huntington Beach.
Oh, come on. Men are competing as women in surfing?
A man wanted to compete against women in surfing, but the president of the American Longboard Association, I knew I shouldn't have let my membership expire.
I know.
His name is Todd Messick. He posted a message about this to the surfing community, just basically stating the policy.
Aloha, everybody. It's Todd checking in from the American Longboard Association. It was brought to my attention yesterday that there's a transgender athlete that's entered into the women's division, and it threw me completely off guard. I didn't realize I was going to have to address this just this soon, only into our second contest. But I do want to make clear that our policy is very much in line with the ISA. You're welcome to go online. I'm going to post some things there. But right now, we're going to support biological males and biological females in their divisions respectively. If you were born a female, you enter in the women's. If you're born a male, you enter in the men's. I'm not here. You guys can live however and whatever you want to do in life. That's not for me to decide, but it is for me to decide what's fair and not fair for the American Longboard Association. So that being said, we're going to stick to our guns. I want to offer an equal playing field for all athletes, and that's the stand we're taking. So I hope that everybody respects that and allows us to just do our thing. This whole thing's about traditional longboard surfing and supporting that. So that's what we're here to do. So thank you, everybody, for your support. Sorry for anybody for the inconvenience, and we look forward to seeing you guys on May 11th. Aloha.
And let me guess, Governor Newsom then came in and got rid of the Longboard Association.
Well, it's a process. That's nice. Todd has been in the water a little bit too long. He thought that he could just make that statement and that would be the end of it, and this is going to be our policy. Isn't he cute? Aloha. Aloha, Todd. Sabrina Brennan is an activist with Surf Equity. Yes. Just in case you think they're not coming for you, they've come for the surfers already. So you may want to contemplate that. Sabrina Brennan with Surf Equity notified the California Coastal Commission and met with some of his members. And the commission members understand that the coast is for everyone. I don't think he was barring anybody from the coast.
No, he wasn't.
No. The ocean is for everyone, says Sabrina Brennan. Some guy can't block access based on somebody's gender identity. And, of course, the California Coastal Commission agreed with him. And, of course, that dude, and you got to see this dude, that dude is going to be in the women's longboard surfing competition in Huntington Beach. Apparently, Todd forgot that Huntington Beach is in the state of California.
Yeah.
For more on this and other matters of cultural disintegration, we're pleased to be joined again by Carol Markowitz. She's a columnist for the New York Post. She's the co-author of Stolen Youth, How Radicals Are Erasing Innocence and Indoctrinating a Generation. and host of the Carol Markowitz Show on iHeartRadio. Carol, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, and just when you thought surfing would be insulated from the rest of our culture, Todd Messick had to find out the hard way.
Yeah, as soon as I heard his comments, I was just like, oh, Todd, you live in the wrong state to be making statements like this. I knew it wasn't going to go well for Todd, but it was so cute. He was so hopeful. He thought like he had some control or some power over his own competition. And obviously he was doing what any sane person would do, with saying you can live however you want, but you can't compete against women if you're a biological male. And that's really the thing, is that everybody agrees on this. It's the fringe minority that have gotten control in places like California who disagree. And it's really not a controversial issue. Everybody knows biological men should not be competing against biological women, period. Todd knows it.
Well, right, but I mean, he was using words that are not the province of the non-pro LGBTQIA2S plus when it comes to things like fair play, equality. Gosh, dare he co-opt the term equity even?
Yeah.
And so Sabrina Brennan, I mean, he just left her no choice. Surf
right.
equity.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom wasn't going to stand for this in his state. No fairness for women's sports in California, not while Gavin Newsom is governor.
So,
and you recently wrote a piece about this too, just sort of restating what we've got a pretty good pile of research that suggests, which is this is largely a social contagion.
That's right. And the thing is that, so I wrote about a study, it's out of the Netherlands, and it's a huge study. It's 15 years. It follows 2,700 kids starting at age 11. So it's really you can't really debate with this study. It is a full-on serious study, as opposed to a lot of other studies we've seen. So what they did was they tracked kids for these 15 years, and what they saw, and it's so funny because telling people about this study, it's like everybody knows where this is going to end up. That kids who declared themselves trans early in their lives largely changed their minds by the time they hit 26 in this case. So it more than half the kids decided they weren't trans. And that's really what happens here. And we don't know what happened to the other few who stayed trans, basically. Maybe they were affirmed a little harder. Maybe that they changed their mind at 27. Who knows? But the majority of kids grow out of it. And so taking steps like giving them hormones or, having any kind of surgery, which is just insane, is just a crazy thing to do. Everybody knows it. Here's a study that proves it. It's like the study that tells us that things we already know.
So this is just a fad, right? Transgenderism?
It is just a fad for the majority of people. It absolutely, kids outgrow it, and that's it.
I know you escaped the Big Apple for the Sunshine State, but what's going on in New York City with these targeting of Boardwalk Empire cast members? First Arnold Rothstein got it, now Nucky Thompson.
Yeah.
I hope Shea Wiggum isn't planning on visiting New York City anytime soon.
See, but if they were living like their characters, they would not, obviously be attacked. The thing is that every crazy person in New York knows that all New Yorkers are unarmed. You're not allowed to carry any weapons. You're completely a sitting duck, and there's going to be no consequences for this. That person is going to be released with no bail probably the same day, if they're even caught. So that's the crazy thing, that New York has gone down this insane rabbit hole where they don't prosecute crime. Crime continues to spiral, and everybody sort of shrugs their shoulders about it. One thing that I said is I grew up in bad New York, 1980s, 1990s, where crime was super high, but nobody pretended it wasn't, and nobody thought, oh, let's not arrest criminals, let's not hold them to account. Everybody was on the same page that things were bad and we needed to do something about it. And that's really the thing. New York can't get to that first step where everybody admits there's a problem and admits that something needs to get done.
Well, do you think the assailant knew who he was?
No, I think it was random. I think there's all these random attacks all the time. There was a period, a few months ago where women were being punched in the face all over Manhattan. And they didn't even know if it was one or maybe multiple assailants who were doing this. Maybe they were copycats. But no, I think it was just a random attack.
Do you think it may have been a waitress that Mr. Pink didn't tip? That it was a holdover from Reservoir Dogs? I don't know.
Possibly,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting how, despite the lawlessness that is besetting the big blue cities in America, I mean, the examples of this just become more and more egregious. I want to play you this clip from D.C. A judge there, because we don't talk about the judges enough. We talk about the prosecutors a lot, but not the judges, and they're a big problem too. A judge there named Lloyd Nolan released this young man. No cash bailed him after this that occurred.
No injuries were reported, but Moody was charged with assault with a dangerous weapon and possession of a firearm with a crime of violence. Both are felonies. Moody was initially detained after his arrest, but in a hearing last week, Magistrate Judge Lloyd Nolan granted a public defender's motion for pretrial release, placing Moody on round-the-clock home detention in Maryland with GPS monitoring and a stay-away order from occupants in the car. Monday, the U.S. Attorney's Office asked for an emergency hearing to revoke Moody's pretrial release, claiming in court documents, home confinement and GPS monitoring cannot reasonably assure the community's safety because pretrial services, which is supposed to keep tabs on Moody, only works during, quote, normal business hours. Prosecutors also say that despite defense attorney arguments which emphasize Moody's family support system and lack of criminal history, prosecutors say none of that stopped Moody from allegedly emptying that AR-15 onto a public street where, quote, any innocent passerby or resident could have fallen victim.
He took the AR-15 from his home, and this is all on video, and you heard the shots being fired in the background. He took it out. He went through an alley out onto the middle of the street, and he just opened fire.
Oh, my God. I thought he was at a shooting range when I was
Yeah.
listening to it.
No, it was the street in front of his house, and he opened fire. And these are the judges and the prosecutors, and we're very familiar with this in Cook County, of course, who spend all their time telling us how they're focused on gun crime and violent criminals, and this is why they can't worry about prosecuting people who steal less than $1,000 worth of merchandise and so forth. I mean, it's pretty incredible that you would allow that young man to walk, basically.
It's insane. It really is insane. I often feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Like, who thinks that this man should be allowed back into society after doing something like that? I think that I don't even know what the ideology is anymore. Do the left just believe that nobody can be bad and nobody can commit crimes and everything's fine?
Carol, did we lose you, Carol?
Oh, yeah.
Carol, you were cutting out on us. You were cutting out on us a little bit.
Oh, sorry. There used to be a sense even on the left that crime was bad. And if we could get back to that, I feel like that would be a good starting point towards sanity.
Right. Make crime again. Do you think the Daniel Penny trial, the outcome of that trial will be a watershed moment in New York City? You know, the guy who restrained that crazy person on the train and unfortunately he died and then he's being prosecuted for manslaughter.
Absolutely. I think even Daniel Penny's arrest has been such a watershed moment, not just for New York City. I hear from people all over the country who say, I would never step in if somebody was committing a crime because I don't want to be like Daniel Penny. And I find that bystanderism, where nobody will step in, nobody will do anything if somebody's in trouble, I think stuff like that really, really corrodes our society, and we get to a place where we don't help each other. It's really unfortunate that Daniel Penny is being tried for this. It was caught on video, so it's not like we don't know what happened. It was completely accidental, and he was trying to save other people. So I hope that he is found not guilty. I hope that New Yorkers do the right thing, and I hope that people don't get the lesson that they shouldn't help out others, because that really does lead us to a place.
But do you think if Daniel Penny was, black or Hispanic, he would even be charged?
I mean, we know the answer to that.
Would we even know about the story? I mean,
right, he'd be a hero, but he is a hero. That's it. He's a hero and should be treated as such.
Carol Markowitz, columnist for the New York Post, co-author of Stolen Youth, How Radicals Are Erasing Innocence and Indoctrinating a Generation, and host of the Carol Markowitz Show on iHeartRadio. Carol, thank you as always.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, and she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Our communities deserve to have their tax dollars spent efficiently. All over Chicagoland, there is an increased need for vital projects like wetland improvements, enhancing water quality, or stormwater mitigation to protect homes against devastating floods. Too often, public officials find themselves at the mercy of outside advisors when planning, budgeting, and building these projects. And let's face it, they rarely meet deadlines or budgets, leaving our communities vulnerable. There's a better way forward. Control Point Engineering. At Control Point Engineering, we're more than just civil engineers. We're champions of quality and efficiency with over 40 years of hands-on experience. Teaming up with Earthworks Land Development, we're breaking down barriers and streamlining processes. Say goodbye to disjointed partnerships and hello to seamless collaboration. From conceptualization to construction, Control Point Engineering delivers everything you need in one unified package, saving you time and money. Visit ControlPointLLC.com today to learn about our successful projects all across Chicagoland. Again, that's ControlPointLLC.com.
All right, it's raining right now. How's your basement? How's your crawl space? Do you have to keep checking on it to make sure you're not taking on water? Well, guess what? You don't have to live like that. Call our good friends at PermaSeal, 1-800-421-SEAL, 1-800-421-7325. They can come out and give you a free estimate. It's that easy. They've been in business for 40-plus years, still family-owned and operated. Way to go, Roy Spencer. They get an A-plus from the BBB, and they're the best in the business. They have crews circling around now, so call them, 800-421-SEAL, or go online at permaseal.net.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten.
Without Trinity support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
Hi, it's Sean Thompson here. You know when you're at the mall and you go to those directory signs, the one that says you are here? Well, imagine that directory is a map of your preparation for retirement. Would you know where you are? My friend Tom Fortino at Alpha Wealth Group is offering you the opportunity to not only find yourself on that map, but also find the route toward a successful retirement. He calls it his retirement roadmap. You'll get an analysis of where you are right now, whether you're at risk if the market drops again, whether you're taking advantage of the latest tax changes, and much, much more. To get an idea where you stand on the road to retirement, call my friend Tom Fortino at the Alpha Wealth Group today at 630-934-1855. That's 630-934-1855. And ask for the retirement roadmap, or visit alphawealthgroup.com. And don't forget to listen to the Alpha Wealth Hour Saturday mornings right here on AM 560, The Answer at 9 a.m.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
Parents, grandparents, you might want to be sitting down, because this is amazing news. Imagine the student in your family not asking you for money to pay for college, or better yet, not getting into years and years of debt. How's this possible? Scholarships.com, a trusted and widely used scholarship platform that helps your student find scholarships and navigate the financial aid process. Get help to pay for college through a personalized list of scholarships that your student actually qualifies for. Better yet, every scholarship is vetted to ensure accuracy. And now the best part, drum roll please, it's absolutely free. Go to scholarships.com today. Both students and parents can join for free. And within minutes, receive your list of personalized scholarship matches. Check out the wealth of information and resources available at no cost. And read the fantastic reviews from other scholarship winners. Scholarships.com has helped over 23 million students and families find scholarships to help pay for college. And will help you too. Join scholarships.com today for free. That's scholarships.com.
Are you a driver of a Ford Powerstroke diesel engine? Tired of taking your Ford Powerstroke diesel in to be misdiagnosed or paying for repairs that don't fix the problem? Well, bring your vehicle to the diesel headquarters, Remke's Garage. The shop is equipped with state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment and highly trained technicians. Take it to the experts. Take it to Remke's Garage. Remke's Garage specializes in Ford Powerstroke, Chevy Duramax, Dodge Cummins, Mercedes Sprinter, and Isuzu diesel engines and transmission repairs. At Remke's, they'll make your vehicle repairs convenient by offering a free commercial loaner vehicle.
Remke's Garage, where you won't spend $1,000 to fix a $100 problem. Call for details and to schedule an appointment at 800-5-REMKES or visit remkesgarage.com. Remke's Garage, your diesel headquarters.
From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the brightest minds in conservative opinion, it's Salem News Channel, home to the biggest shows on TV, like Hugh Hewitt weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern, followed by Mike Gallagher at 9. Join SNC, where facts are sacred, critical thinking is celebrated, and the pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free, now on Zumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/Zumo.
AM 560, The Answer.
Wow, where did the time go? Dan, what are you going to do today?
Work on my golf game.
Okay, well, good luck. Hit them long and straight.
Thank you. I got to prepare for our outing.
Oh, that's right. Yes, please sign up for our outing, am560theanswer.com/golf. Thanks to Justin Kosick and Quinn McCarthy. Couldn't do it without them. We're back here early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Have a wonderful day. It is now 9 a.m. WIND Chicago.
Michael Cohen's back on the witness stand. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, testifying a second day at the Trump criminal trial in New York that the former president again keeps calling a hoax.
No crime has been shown. No crime has been committed.
Saying before going into what he calls an ice box, a cold